done with.
Dude, you've been done.
I'm still here.
For what? Why? Because you just want to be a asshole.
You're right.
Then why the would you be in this competition? Bone face. You.
Why do you look 50 and you're 24?
What? What did you say? Go yourself. You.
Would you rather have the brand new PS5 or a weekend with these three lovely ladies and you do anything you want with them?
Wait, anything with them?
Like anything.
A whole weekend?
A whole weekend.
Damn, but the PS5 though, like it just dropped.
I know.
Ah, damn, y'all beautiful though, but
Hold on, what'd you say?
PS5 or us?
Oh,
bro, y'all beautiful, but I had a PlayStation 4 for 4 years, but I need a PS5.
Oh, God.
My nigga.
Y'all, so this dude came in my DM yesterday. He was like, "You're pretty, I'm trying to get to know you." He literally sent me $1,000 just to get to know me. And y'all literally sit here and think I'm gonna get to know y'all for free when somebody just paid me $1K for him to get to know me? Be so for real.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now.
Would you feel comfortable if your father was watching your OnlyFans and subscribing to it?
Probably not. No.
You would not feel comfortable, and I'll tell you why. That's because in your heart of hearts, in your soul, if you still got one, you know it's wrong. That's your work. In my work, if my mother consumed my work, I'd be thankful and pleased that she took an interest in my work and supported my work. If she bought my products, I'd be thankful. If your mother or father bought your products, you'd be disgusted and ashamed because you know what you're doing is wrong and the product of what you're doing is bad.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
I got a question for you. Do you have car insurance?
100%. No reason.
All right. Do you have homeowners insurance?
100%.
Do you have life insurance?
100%.
Do you have medical insurance?
100%.
Did you get tired of your insurance agent talking about the possibilities of you losing your life and being rewarded? Hold on for a second. I know, but don't be a butt person. Here's the deal. Here's the deal. You have insurances. Although it's a very uncomfortable situation, and life insurance people who sell it tend to be scumbags. They tend to be looked at as scumbags, like, I don't want to have this conversation about me dying, but you surely will die. So you better have the conversation. The reality is, yes, it's a very tough conversation. I have to spend a lot of time talking about it. It's very difficult. However, there needs to be some insurance, and there's no insurance, and so we must talk about it.
He ain't lying.
That all up in me at one time. Don't try to make me take all that dick at one time.
Slow and easy.
He said, "Don't worry. I wouldn't do that to you. I would not rush all this dick up in you at one time. I'm going to take it easy on you." She said, "Okay, I think I can take it." So he laid down. The nigga rushed all that dick up in her.
Jammed it into there.
Jammed and rammed.
Like Jam City.
All kind of dick up in that girl at one time.
Dang.
And took her breath some more.
A win is a win. A win is a win. I don't care what y'all say. A win is a win.
Thanks for all your help. Bye-bye, Tanja. Bye-bye.
I want to do it the right way and learn some of the unwritten rules.
That's why I was talking about the seminar, so that we can get players to come down there and bring their grievance, their problem, how to catch a hooker, what you do to be a boss player, what do I say to my wife when I decided that I wanted to be a true player and walk out on the family. We need a seminar so we can teach these guys to give them the right understanding so they'll know, man.
Yo, what's up, y'all? It's Cali West. Thank you for tuning in to another episode. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're feeling this shit. It's Friday night. We gotta get right. So, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people who's watching the fight, but you know, your boy, you know what I'm saying? Your boy ain't got no cable. Shit, like most people ain't got cable. So you can order pay-per-view straight to your computer now. But no, I ain't watching the fight tonight. You know what I'm saying? Shit, that's probably where some of my boys is at tonight. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Because the fight is in, you know, Seminole Hard Rock in Hollywood. And, you know, that's only like 20 minutes away from me. But, you know, hey, there is a possibility that I might go check out the casino. Because no lie, y'all, that casino is live, yo. It be popping on a Friday night. And it was supposed to be rainy. I was supposed to go to a car show tonight. So that's actually why the show came on a little bit late tonight, y'all. I was supposed to go to a car show, but my bro, he decided he wasn't going to go no more. And the main reason I was going to go was because of him. You know, that way we could shoot some content. But the fact that he didn't, you know, want to go out no more, you know, and then I had a long day, I just kind of figured, you know what, I'll just do some work at home, get on this podcast, and, you know, get on my second job, right? But anyway, shit, I might just check out a Hard Rock tonight. You know what? You'll see. We'll see. And I might just do an infield. I might, you know, do an RRL. And I need to read the chats, but we're gonna get to it. So my boy Dwayne Rose, you know, longtime supporter on Facebook, my big bro, comes through and says peace to the chat. You know what I'm saying? He says, monetize dating market. Facts. Shout out to CGA, Coach Greg Adams, and Free Agent Lifestyle. Now we got D Griff. He comes through. He says, "What up, Cali? What up, my G?" Then he says, "I saw the chat." He said, "I saw this in the chat. LOL. Nice." And then he says, "The fight comes on tomorrow." The fight's not tonight. The fight's not tonight. You sure about that? Yeah, I could be wrong. Well, either way, I'm still gonna check it. Either way, I probably might still do an IRL out there, you know, saying just walk around the casino or something like that until they tell me that I can't record no more or something. But maybe I'll record in the comment areas. We're gonna see, because just me, man. The casino got plenty of ladies, bro. I'm talking about plenty, bro. Trust me. Plenty, bro. They out there, boy.
I'd buy that for $1.
So anyway, so yeah, let's get on with it. You know what I'm saying? You know how we do. You know what I'm saying? We go straight to the main event. It says, why do black people don't have empathy for Charlie Kirks?
He ain't lying.
Now, y'all been watching on the timeline. People don't care about it. You know, they do not, you know, black people do not give two dams or two Fs about this guy right here. D. Griff says the fight is on Saturday. Okay, I'll take a word for it. XL Pro says, I'm late. I said, game coaching call. Nice. That's what's up, bro.
My nigga.
And I hope you're helping out the young brothers in the RP space, especially a lot of those young bros that get into the labor, you know what I'm saying? You know, long time, no lie, XL Pro, I think one of my biggest mistakes was I didn't go into a career to work with my hands. That's what I should have did. I should have, you know, I kind of wished my pops or, you know, I had other people who motivated me and told me, you know, hey, you know, go ahead and, you know, get certified, do this, do that. You know, shit, you can even go to college later if you want to be, because shit, I don't know if y'all heard recently, but this guy is an auto mechanic and he went back to school to become a doctor. Look, he was able to afford to go back to school to be a doctor. And this dude's now a doctor, man, and he owns a car business, bro. Now, D. Griff says, Yeah, I'm talking about the Facebook chat. Oh, okay. Which one? Muters? You probably talk about muters, or maybe I hit up your chat directly. Now, I do send a few messages to people before I get home. Exit Pro said I started in sales. He said I started in sales and promotion. Facts. That's dope. That's what's up. That's what's up. See? That's what's up, man. And I think sales is a great approach for a young guy too. And it's funny too, y'all, because this young guy, he sold me the service to go to the phone company that I technically already had business with. But where he fucked up is, here's the thing about sales. You have to make sure your customer is okay, right? I think that's one of the biggest things that people forget is, like, here's the thing. People think sales is just selling to your customer. Oh, no. Sales is more than that. You have to be able, not only, as a sales agent, you have to be able to make sure, look, not only do you have to sell something to someone, but you have to make sure it sticks. If you don't make it stick, then it doesn't even mean anything. You feel me? It really means nothing. You feel me? Shoot. I see Sky Daddy Sky Daddy, he online. So I gotta at least show him some love on his chat. You feel me? That's how I do here. You feel me? Even if it means we watching on a replay, I'll go on to another dude's channel or one of my boys' channels. Make sure I watch it on one of my 3 or 4 computers or one of my 3 phones. You know what I'm saying? That way, them boys get their credit. You feel me? Because guess what? I want my boy Sky Daddy 444 to blow up too, G. You feel me? Look at Sky Daddy 444 doing his thing on a Friday night. I know that's right. Yo, shout out to Sky Daddy 444, bro. Salute.
My nigga.
I need to hit up his Cash App. That's what I need to do. Shit, matter of fact, why should I hit up my Cash App? $ Cali West 1. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're feeling this shit. If not, I'm gonna cry in my pillow.
Emotional damage.
No, I'm not.
I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke.
But anyway, what else we got in the comment section? Yeah, muters. Okay. Now, Dwayne Rose said Tariq Nasheed did a stream on Kirk saying bad stuff about people of color. Well, you know what? It's funny you're discussing that because we're going to talk about that tonight too. Because here's the thing. My opinion on him was kind of, sorry, y'all. I'm a little OCD. And when something ain't right, it's going to mess with me. So I just had to fix it. I was just too low. So anyway, like I was saying, y'all, here's the thing, man. I kind of thought Charlie Kirk was an okay guy. You know why? I didn't really know anything about the guy. I just seen him say some stuff, about sex changes and stuff like that. And there's some things that he did say that I agreed with. But in my ignorance, I was even coming to defense of him because I just thought that he was just a conservative. I just thought he was just a conservative. I just thought he had a conservative who just said some things that, here's the thing. Most conservatives hurt Black people's feelings anyway. So I took it with a grain of salt, thinking that, the Black people, melanated people was tripping and stuff like that. But once I did a little bit of investigation, man, a lot of things I seen didn't pass the smell test, bro. You know what I'm saying? It really just passed the smell test.
You don't find that suspicious? 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 You don't find that suspicious?
This is a sick Negro.
Now, I must say, man, when I did a little bit more research, I was just a little very, very, well, not disappointed or nothing like that, but, I just kind of realized a little bit too why Black people are kind of coming to odds about this guy and what he got to say, man. Like, I could totally see why people are so upset and why people are at arms and stuff like that. Because here's the thing. See, at first, what you see, what I've seen a lot when I seen him, because I didn't even know his name. But when I seen his stuff, I seen him, say some stuff that shit, even I agree with. And it's nothing to y'all. Anybody know Cali West is very opinionated about the Black community. And there's a lot of things that I feel like the Black community definitely needs to be done. But at the same time, I can't sit down here and be oblivious, to the bullshit, We can't be oblivious to the bullshit. Let's just be real. Part of that first way to resolve any problem is admitting that it is one. And unfortunately, he wasn't admitting to admit that, America, as great as America is, did a lot of evil shit, a lot of messed up things to essentially keep white people afloat. And we're going to talk about that shit tonight. We're going to talk about it tonight. Exit process, like, share, and then he says, like, share, subscribe, $ Cali West 1. I appreciate you, my G.
My nigga.
Dwayne Rose says, Seales learned to have a smooth mouthpiece. Facts. Exit Pro says, I've seen a lot of his debates. And then Exit Pro also says, Steve Crowder was doing similar debates before him. Now, Dwayne Rose says, more white on white crime. All right, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. Because like I said, the truth is, they made him a martyr. They made him a martyr when he really wasn't really a martyr at all. You feel me? But they're trying to make him a martyr, and it could be due to maybe even they, Here's the thing: conflict. They know they can use conflict as a problem. This right wing guy got popped. Now people are just gonna go, more and more big on being on the right. Not that I have anything against people being right wing or anything like that, because to be honest with you, I believe the left wing, I believe both extremes of the right and the extremes of the left is bad for America. You know what I'm saying? It's bad for America. When it comes to the point that people want to start, using violence, they're essentially acting like savages, because there's white people on Huntington Beach talk about, white man, white man fight back and shit, but it's like, okay, but a white man, shot the other white man, right? So, it's a lot to unpack here. Digger says, it showed me how racist motherfuckers are. Facts. And then XL Pro says, Nick Fuentes probably said worse than Kirk. He definitely said worse than Kirk. He definitely said worse than Kirk. And we're gonna address it tonight. As a matter of fact, the first video we're gonna put up is what we're gonna talk about what a man is. No, not a man is. We're gonna talk about what Charleston White got to say, because Charleston White, he's been, I guess, mocking and talking shit, about him, and I guess that he claims that white people are coming after him now. So check this out.
Said to the niggers, when I'm fucking trolling the niggers about their dead babies and dead mammies, you don't say shit. So what do you mean fucking why? I'm a fucking comedian. I get to fuck with anybody. Satire comedy is what we call it. Fuckers. How you gonna take that away from me? So Charlie's no exemption. Don't you fuckers joke about fentanyl Floyd? He's no different than a fucking fentanyl Floyd. Floyd was the Black Lives Matter movement. Kirk is a fucking white wing conservative movement. We get to joke about one another. Remember? Liberal, conservative, nigger, black. Come on, immigrant. So why is it fucking you want to get in your fucking... This is not America that beat British. I'm telling you. These are not the fucking Americans that beat the redcoats. These are the pussies. These are not the Americans that could have stopped 9/11. And your fucking feelings all the fucking time. These are the fucking Americans that's crying because you didn't get picked on the fucking playground because someone said something about you. Who gives a fuck about the dead? Charlie can't hear shit I'm saying. Charlie's dead. Even your fucking Bible says, let the dead. Why are you guys worshiping and honoring the dead? Even your fucking Bible says it. This is the pussy Americans. You will not beat China. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, this America cannot beat North Korea. These motherfuckers ain't got no Instagram, no face, none of that shit. They ain't in their motherfucking feeling. These people is ready to hurt somebody. This American is crybaby, pussies, whining on let's counsel him. Fuck it. Go join the military if you're that fucking angry about Charlie. Make your children go fucking join the military. Matter of fact, Go stop rap music. How can you fuckers allow rap music to go on this fucking long, laugh at black people, and now you white on white crime come back and bite you in the ass? You're always talking about black on black crime. Look how you kill each other. Now look at you fucking white pussies killing each other. Look at your fucking white boy transsexual kids shooting up the fucking schools in America. It's not the niggers. It's not the Mexicans. It's not the Italians. It's not the Afghanistans. It's not the Pakistan. It's your fucking white lily children shooting up your fucking schools and you're crying about a gun. It's you fucking white people problem that's doing these fucking mass shit. It ain't other than the DC snipers. And secretly, I used to love the DC. I loved Lee Mohammed and John Malvo, whatever the fuck their name was. Had you fucking pussies scared in the bitch. You got all these fucking guns, but look who's shooting up your fucking school, your fucking tranny white baby that's raised in white households with parents like Kirk. Your children's not even accepting your fucking rhetoric. Kirk children are gonna be a lesbian and a stud. Both of them. I swear to God. Talk to me later, but I'm telling you, Kirk's babies are gonna be a fucking beautiful lesbian and a fucking ugly butch stud. A bulldyker. Swear to God they are. Don't give a fuck about what you fucking pussy Americans are saying, and I'm a comedian. Who can take my comic delivery away? No fucking body. That's what make me Charleston White. So you think I'm gonna give it to the niggers, give it to the Jews. I even gave it to the Jews. I gave it to the Chinaman. You laugh like a motherfucker. Now I'm looking at a cracker, pink toe whitey, and say, hey, it's your turn. You thought I was gonna leave you fuckers off limit because I wear a MAGA hat? I don't wear a fucking MAGA hat because of Trump. I wear a MAGA hat because I remember when we can fuck and didn't have to wear condoms. There's no such thing as a fucking condom. That's when America was great, when you can fuck with no rubbers. Only motherfucker had AIDS was a white boy named Mark White. That's the face of HIV, not niggas. That's when America was great. When the white man was the face of HIV, he was a little white boy. And he got mistreated by white people. Mean motherfucker white people. Mistreat every goddamn body. Mean motherfucker. Now somebody get to pick on the bully. Now the bullies is crying. It's not fair. What about his family? What about George Floyd's family? Motherfucker. Oops. His daughter had nothing to do with him fentanyl overdosing. But you guys make fun of his family. So fuck you. And your lily white babies too. They got shot up at them schools. Y'all don't care when the niggas get shot up. It's for gang banging. They shouldn't be over there. Who's shooting up your fucking schools, white people? White people. Who's shooting up people like Kirk? White people. So fuck it, you over here looking at me for mad because I'm saying something. Hey, we need to stay out of white folk business. That's white on white crime. We don't care about that shit. Fuck them. Don't y'all share the same fucking sentiment every time the news come on, white America? Fuck you and your pussies. And your asses too, with handcuffs on and super glue on your lips. You law enforcement loving motherfuckers. And the police can't even catch him. And they can catch a nigga. They can catch a nigga anytime a nigga pow, pow. Now they can't catch this motherfucker.
Hey, yo, real talk. Real talk. He said a mouthful. He said a mouthful. What?
He ain't lying.
Where did he lie? Where did he lie, gang? Where did he lie? D-Griff says now they're going to try to replace him with Nick. Oh, my God. Hey, yeah, it's probably going to go from one extreme to the next. Of course. Of course.
You sell some! It's all bullshit. All of it.
Mm-hmm. And D-Rails 93 says, bye-bye, Charlie, back. He's where you belong. Laughing my ass off. Damn, bruh.
Emotional damage.
Well, that's D-Rails' opinion, and he's here he can state what he's saying, and hey, it is what it is. I truly don't have a dog in a fight, not in that respect, so hey, go on. Major Tom says, Kid Dynamite. And then Dwayne Rose says, CW for president. D-Griff says, I'll send you Steve's tweet. Okay. And then Exile Pro says Myron does debates like Kirk in the streets and colleges. Right. Let me ask a question. Correct me if I'm wrong, isn't Myron Gaines part of the Proving Wrong group now? Am I wrong about that? I thought I heard Coach Rick Adams mention that. I don't know how true that is. D. Griff says, what I don't understand, Nick Fuentes is reading Rainbow, so will conservatives have said that? Damn. Really? Is he? Uh-oh.
It's that real shit, yo.
Butterfly in the sky.
And hey, there's been a lot of people, just because you're a Republican doesn't mean that you can't be like that. Remember, J. Edgar Hoover?
Suck my dick.
J. Edgar Hoover was a cross-dresser. And he's the one who made sure that our black leaders got assassinated. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X.
Nigga. My nigga. This is the shit I be talking about.
I wouldn't be surprised. Myron is canceling shows, he says. D. Griff says.
Talk is cheap, motherfucker.
I believe it. It's a scary time. It's a scary time right now. Yo, remember the other day I said the YouTube game was like remind me of the crack game? Well, and then D. Griff says, yeah, he won't admit, but he's still a virgin at 27. Who's a virgin at 27? Oh, you talk about that Nick Fuentes. He said no girlfriend. And then Exo Process Myron been doing debates for months. Called out, he called out the little people with the hats that Kanye West be talking about, as well as melanated people, etc. Now, Dwayne Rose said J. Edgar hated his black blood. Oh, he had black in him? But I know he definitely did, a lot to make sure that, he, to do anything to destroy the civil rights movement or the real civil rights movement. And y'all, I don't know, I might be getting too deep tonight, but I don't know if y'all know this, but Martin Luther King did not die to give us civil rights. Because here's the thing. He got, the civil rights bills was passed even, before he got, assassinated, right? The reason why he got assassinated, got taken out, is because he was really asking for reparations. Y'all know that? He was seeking reparations. I don't know if y'all know that, but he was seeking reparations. He didn't say reparations, the word, but he was saying about how, black farmers need this and how people in the city need that and how they need to do this and how they need to do that. Once he started talking, when he started asking for money, when he started getting financial, he went from, civil rights to being about financial empowerment of black people. That's when it took him out. Please tell me y'all know that in the chat. Put a one in the chat if y'all knew that. Put a one in the chat if y'all boys knew that. But that's why MLK got popped. He didn't get popped because they was giving black people equal rights. And I'm gonna tell you this right now too. Malcolm X said that we didn't need any new laws. The reason why he said that too is because not only the fact that he said Malcolm X was like, all white people need to do is just enforce their current laws that they have. Recognize us as just Americans, not black Americans, not Negroes, but Americans, and everything would be okay. But they weren't willing to do that. The Democrats are just willing to make more laws to keep us down so we can keep calling ourselves black people. I don't know if y'all know this, but I've been trying not to call myself black people, black. Not because I don't want to be associated with the melanated people, but because of the fact that the term black is a way to keep you down. the word black is a way to box you in, to be inferior. When people say they're white, that's because they feel superior when they say they're white. Now, with that being said, yeah, man, we can get deep tonight. We're about to get a little deep. D. Griff says Jay was passing. Oh, really? Interesting. Dwayne Rhodes said, yeah, I'll find a documentary. Judge Joe Brown spoke about it. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it, man. You know, I wouldn't doubt it. You know, he probably was quarter black and decided to play the game. Because here's the thing, y'all. There always been black people who were willing to facilitate what they had going on. Think about it. The black community could be fucked up if somebody wasn't complicit, somebody was not facilitating it. A man support man comes through. He says, salute to Cali West and everyone in the chat. Man, I appreciate you for checking in on this Friday night, G. Dwayne Ross said MLK started fine-tuning his ideologies because him and X started bonding more. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. And I'm going to say this to y'all too as well. This is my opinion. And if y'all want to ask me or question me about my opinion, I can. But I truly believe we didn't need the Civil Rights Bill. Just like Malcolm X said, I don't believe we need the Civil Rights Bill. But I truly believe that we didn't need the Civil Rights Bill for one, because of what Malcolm X said. Because it's true, they just recognize Black Americans as Americans or melanated people as Americans, then guess what? There wouldn't be no problem, right? But the twist to it is that the reason why they had Jim Crow laws was because Black people and white people were getting together, intermixing and doing business together and going to each other's clubs and stuff like that. It was only Jim Crow that made those laws that said, you know, whites only, this, that, and the other. But guess what? Not all white people practice that. Not all white people practice that. Yeah, I know that. But the reason why they had to make laws against interracial dating or Black men, you know, dating white women was because they knew it was already happening, even way back in the day. Even when a Black man had no money, or maybe he did have some money, I don't know. But guess what? It was still going down. Dwayne Rose said civil rights got hijacked by liberal white women. Man, it got hijacked mainly. Oh, it has. But guess what? Who did it get hijacked by first? Certain people with little hats, the NAACP and MLK. See, I know MLK was even the head of the civil rights movement until he got a loudspeaker and they went to Washington, D.C. But guess what? All over the country, Black people had their own either civil unrest, protests, boycotts, what have you. Everybody had their own little system. But to keep the violence down and to keep the financial demand and the money talks at bay was by doing segregation. And here's another to y'all. Y'all don't think white America, here's the thing. I'm going to tell y'all this right now. Segregation probably helped white America more than it helped Black America. And the reason why is because when they decided to integrate us into their neighborhoods and into their society, we were the ones that, you know, were going to be used as cannon fodder. For example, they gave Black people civil rights, but then they started a war in Vietnam. And guess what? They drafted Black people. And you know what they did when they drafted Black people? They put the Black people and Black men on the front line. And guess what? Charlie Kirk could go in a college campus and tell a Black kid that the reason why 20% of households have a father is because the father walks out to the home, even though that's fucking a goddamn lie. And that's a goddamn lie. How about the fact that, you know, mass incarceration? How about the fact that the CIA purposely dumped drugs in the Black community in the 80s? Freeway Rick Ross went and spent time in jail because the guy who was bringing him the drugs, testified against him, although secretly he was the general of the Contras. And guess what? As smart as Charlie Kirk is, he wants to deny that and just make it seem like black people just want to be fucked up or want to live fucked up because that's just in our DNA or some shit, bro.
What kind of shit is that?
D. Griffiths is right. So people lost their fathers in Vietnam. Look, they lost their fathers in Vietnam, the war on drugs, the fact that they the child support. His name too. Do y'all know this? Do y'all know that there was a pilot program? That's why I keep on telling y'all, civil rights or how the world was going to play out anyway, because white women and white men were walking door to door during the day when the fathers between 9 and 3 or 9 to 5, when they knew that the black man was off at work, they were sending white people door to door and telling black women they could get welfare if they leave their husbands. Do y'all know that? Do y'all know that? But yet, Charlie Kirk doesn't want to admit to that. D. Griff says, look how many guys are in prison just because their friend had drugs or guns on them in the car. Oh, and by the way, I'm glad that you mentioned that too. Not only that, do y'all know that just using drugs back in the day, in the 80s, you could go to jail? You could go to jail just for being an addict. Do y'all know that? I mean, technically, you could. I don't know if y'all know this. Do y'all know y'all can technically still go to jail for being an addict now? Technically. But yes, if you were a drug addict, if you were caught with crack, even if it was for you was going to jail for you. Do y'all know that? As a matter of fact, that was one of the things that was kind of one of the new age laws that they made, I think in the early 2000s or the late 90s, was the fact that it was like, okay, yeah, people are going to, if people are on drugs, should they be going to jail or should they go to rehab? And they kind of saying, like, you know what? They started to change the laws in regards to drug, if you're a drug user or a drug dealer. You feel me? Like, because essentially, that's why when people who sell drugs, they usually get charged with drug possession and intent to sell. They have to kind of prove that it was an intent to sell because you could just be using that shit. Now, XL process crack epidemic, prison industrial complex, 90s crime bill, Democrats. Yep. You know who drafted the bill? Joe Biden. Bill Clinton's just the one who promoted it, or he's the one who pushed it. D. Griff said those all in laws. He said mean gang laws. So, and his thing, what's crazy is even Joe Biden said that he even knew. He said this when he was trying to get the law passed. He said, I don't care, or we don't care about how they got that way. Because he was mentioning the fact that, maybe they had a hard upbringing and that's what kind of led them into that life. And he essentially said, I don't care how they got to that way. He said, we just need to get rid of them. Do y'all remember that? He said that. He said, we don't care how they get away. He didn't say like, we're going to try to make the community better so people have, other options not to go and get on drugs and not to get arrested. No, he just said that, I don't even care how they got here. I don't care if it was, unjust criminal system. I don't care if it's, if it's racism. He said, I don't care. Lock their ass up forever. We need to keep these predators away from the public. That's what he said. CBC, Baldini says Hillary, Bill, and Biden, Clinton, 3 strikes, and black people ran and vote for them. Shaking my head. Facts, CBC. Facts, bruh. See? Y'all boys feeling what I'm saying. Y'all boys know what I'm talking about, man.
He ain't lying.
XL Pro said Joe Biden was passionate about locking people up. Negroes forgot all those old clips. Said worse than Kirk. Hey, Ninja. Bruh.
Got to know exactly who you are. Lord have mercy. We must stay focused, brothers. We must stay focused.
XL Pro, my man.
My nigga.
Exactly. And see, that's kind of where my kind of position was, because I didn't know enough from him. I just thought, I ain't gonna lie, I thought some of the stuff that he said was true, not necessarily about black people, but about other subjects. I didn't know that he felt this way about black people until like a day or two ago, like after I actually made my video. So that's why we're talking this shit now. D-Griff says, even being in the wrong house could land you in prison. Oh, see, thank you. Thank you. CBC Boudini says, hell, Biden told y'all, if y'all don't know who you vote for, you ain't black.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Yep. Bingo. D-Griff says, they were trying to push Kirk to be president. Was they? Hey, I'll just take your word for it, D-Griff. You know what I'm saying? I know you're a real one, so I'm just take your word for it. I didn't know that because he's not qualified to be president. To be honest with you, you know, too bad that he passed away, because I would have loved to be one of those. I would have loved to be on campus when he was talking, and I would have definitely debated him back and forth about, some of his talking points. Because here's the thing, truth be told, it's easy to punch down. You don't think if I go to a college campus, I can't be clowning everybody? Trust me, I will probably beat everybody, even if I was to act like a liberal. Because I'm an adult. I know how to kind of do this wordplay shit, but I believe a lot of shit that he was doing with those college students were wordplay. He's 31. I mean, yeah, but think about it. 31 versus 18, 19, and 21, 22-year-olds. Come on now, man. Their frontal cortex is even developed.
Emotional damage.
Yeah, but it's easy to punch down, isn't it? D-Griff says, I went to school with dudes like Charlie. They like to twist the facts. XL Pro says true. D-Griff says exactly. Yeah, man, they ain't pulling the, they're not, see, they can't pull the wool over our eye. They can't pull the wool over our eye. Matter of fact, want to see one of his videos real quick? I think I'll go one of his videos real quick. We can see it real quick. Here we go.
Have a father around when they're raised?
I'm not sure.
20%.
So
80% of blacks do not have a stable father around.
That was a lie. The numbers are right there. Actually, black fathers are more involved in their lives than any other ethnic group. This is according to a study done by the CDC.
Hold up. So even the white people, hear that? Even the white people even admit that black men are the best fathers when given that chance. And I'm even surprised that it's even 38%. But let's just be real. Of course it's going to be 38% if the other party or the other side of the black people, aka women, are the ones getting the welfare benefits. Hello. Why? And here's another question too that I would have loved to ask Charlie Kirk if he was still amongst the living. I would have liked to ask him that if people only had less than 60 years to catch up, right? And if they only need 60 years, they only have 60 years to catch up. Even if you want to say 150 years to catch up, how would they be able to catch up if they didn't have obstacles such as racism, churches getting burned down, businesses getting burned down? What about redlining and stuff like that? And all these other things to keep the black person down. And by the way, too, the reason why a lot of white people have why there's a strong middle class now? Was a strong middle class? The reason why there was a strong middle class was because, guess what? a lot of white Americans were able to depend on government jobs like police officers, firemen, paramedics, where they're serving neighborhoods that they had no association or attachment to or empathy for. And they were able to send their kids to college with that money that they were using. Mind you, back in the day before they had body cams and stuff, they're planting dope and drugs on black people. What about that? See, those are the things that Charlie, Kirks never brought up in his debates.
It is the most predictable way to end up in prison, end up as a murderer or a criminal.
And
It's
why
not
do
a
you think that's
racism
a problem?
It's not a white supremacy problem. It's a fact that black fathers impregnate women and they don't stay around with the women
And
that they have
why-
impregnated.
Charlie.
That's a lie. See, that's a lie. And that's why I see why people do not like his ass. Because that's a goddamn lie. That is a goddamn lie. So racism didn't have anything to do with that. Here's another thing too, y'all. It's hard for, I'm gonna just say this, can we just be honest for a second, y'all, for a minute? I know we like to beat up on, I know we like to talk shit against a woman, you know what I'm saying? I know he-man shit, right? But let's just be real. We all know, we understand women here in the right sphere, right? We keep it real here in the right sphere, right? We know that women like to take the easy way out. Any woman, a white woman, an Indian woman, if she she had no other choice, no other resolve, she would probably take the welfare too. But guess what? White people are less inclined, or I'm not saying there's not white people on welfare. As a matter of fact, I'll just say something too, by the way, y'all. There are white people on welfare. And guess what? Those are the white people they don't show on TV. The biker gangs and the biker gangs going around all over the country, all of the highways, like deleting people and all that stuff. They don't talk about the biker gangs. They don't talk about the KKK. They don't talk about, these hillbillies, taking each other out. They don't tell you about that. Because guess what, y'all? In a lot of American states, there's not many black people around to do the crime. Like this dude, I would have to honestly say, based off of what I'm hearing, is a racist, bro. Is a racist. Now, one thing I can honestly say is, I don't believe racism is as much of a problem directly for black people in the communities that they're in. But we have to admit that the problems that we have in the community currently did stem from systematic racism. Because guess what? If my grandparents already had money, or they had a good job and they're established, and my dad was established and I was established, guess what? I'm more or less likely inclined to do a crime, which is what happened when Theodore Roosevelt made the New Deal. They started making infrastructure all over the country. That stimulated the economy because these broke ass motherfuckers who were suffering from the Great Depression automatically had jobs and had money and were able to feed their families and were able to buy homes, the American dream. Now, let me read this comment. Let me just play this video play out.
Kirk, do you think that happens more in the black community compared to others?
It's threefold. Number one, we subsidize single motherhood. Number two, it's culture. It's accepted in the black community.
Okay, so black people are actually the poorest ethnic group in this country, right? But through racist practices and programs put in place by this government, that is what actually led to the breaking and dismantling of the black family. Starting with programs.
Yo, did I not just say that? Did I not just literally, he probably said it a little bit, he essentially summarized what I said, but essentially it's the truth. Like, if, you know what I'm saying, like, it's like, for example, we can't play big bank, little bank if you had more time to collect money. I'll always lose. I will never come up on top. I'll never come up on top. And, one thing I like about Coach Greg Adams is that he keeps it a buck. He'll say some stuff that might hurt your feelings, but that doesn't mean that it's not for your betterment. He says this is something that is so true. I know people rise above, their family and stuff, but he says, a lot of your success or lack thereof has to do with the fact of whether you had one, both of your parents, and two, had both of your parents who cared about you. And three, had both parents who cared about you and were able to financially help you out so you can get a good start on life. Because guess what? Everybody starting from the beginning. Like, here's the thing. Kind of like, I'm saying, like most families do not even have, like, look at this. Most people, think about who holds most of the student loan debt. It's Black people. It's Black women, mainly. But why? Because guess what? They didn't have a father who had money saved away that they could just pay for college cash. So let's continue. As a matter of fact, let me just go over these comments real quick before we continue. David Johnson says, my favorite Charlie is still Charlie Brown.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
And then we got XO Process, Candace Owens and Kirk did content together. Hey, I heard the other day that him and Charlie Kirk are best friends, bruh.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
This is a sick Negro.
Is that true? Is that true? Did she ever push back on him about anything that he said about Black people? Please tell me if she at least did. D. Griff says Charlie didn't believe racism existed. You're the second person who told me that. You're like the second or third person who told me that. But see, here's the thing. If someone says that racism doesn't exist, you can't even have that discussion with them because we know racism exists. We know. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Does racism affect? Here's the thing. I can honestly say that racism probably doesn't directly affect Black people as much anymore for the most part, I would say. But doesn't mean that past racism hasn't predispositioned you in the situation that you're already in now. Whether you have opportunity or lack thereof. But if someone's not even willing to exist, racism exists, and they want to exist racism. So guess what? If he doesn't see his thing, damn, that's crazy. So if Charlie Kirk didn't believe in racism, does he believe that the CIA purposely pumped drugs into the community, even though the Washington Post and the man who wrote it died behind telling the truth, and they made a movie behind it with Russell Crowe? Like, is he saying that that's not true? Like, because we know that the Reagan administration had no money to support fighting communism in Venezuela, Colombia, Bolivia, and those places. So guess what? The only way they could kind of funnel the money or have money to equip them and fight them was to allow the coca bean, aka Coke, to be distributed in Black communities. So that's where they popped it, was in Black communities, y'all. That is insane, bro. Skydaddy44444 says salute to everyone in the chat. Really appreciate you, categories to say you're a real one. And salute, G. I appreciate you for checking in. Yeah, we peeked in on you for a little second on my phone. You see what I mean? But I had to perform for, saying we got people watching.
My nigga.
Salute to my boy Skydaddy44444. He's on the spiritual tip. He is a Coach Gang member. You know what I'm saying? An honorary member of the Righteous Sphere. You feel me? So go check him out on his channel. Now, he says, D. Griff then says, but they'll just ignore all that, Callie. See, that's part of the problem. And that's why at the same time, it's to the point that's why, I'm gonna be honest with you, y'all. That's why y'all don't really see me on Facebook really debating people anymore. Because here's the thing, I guess because I don't really go in on the hoes like I used to. Like, people don't really fuck with me like that on Facebook anymore, y'all. So I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Like, some of my posts be going on, my posts be, they don't be going, it don't even go gold or motherfucking bronze. That should be fucking copper, nigga.
Emotional damage.
Motherfuckers sometimes be ignoring my shit sometimes. But I feel like it's because, I came from a different approach now. You know what I'm saying? I come from a whole different standpoint. I'm on the boss up shit myself. You know what I'm saying? I might be the efficient nigga in efficiency, but you know what I'm saying? I imagine my life with much, much more. You feel me? Much more wonders, much more luxury. You feel me? And I can't be just running around here blaming the hoes and the white man all the time. Sometimes I have to blame black people and myself. You feel me? But yeah, they'll definitely ignore that. But if they're willing to ignore that, at this point, there's nothing to even discuss. You got to figure out another way to deal with it. Because, look, here's the thing. I don't know if y'all know this, but even if you have an enemy, even if you have an adversary, y'all have to something, okay? Y'all have to agree with something. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to agree to something. That's the only way. Look, here's the thing. Y'all don't have to agree on anything. But if y'all want to have any type of communication or dialogue, y'all both have to agree to something. Something y'all have to be on the same page on. And guess what? If he's not even willing to admit that racism exists, then guess what? There's nothing to talk about. Because when you tell him about Washington Post and you tell him about the drugs, the drug cartels and all that, he can go ahead and talk about what that was 40 years. That was 40 years ago. Yo, 40 and 60 years ago, y'all think it's far away, but I'm 46, y'all. I'm 46. I'm almost half a century. So, dude, 60 years was not too long ago. Like, now that I'm 46, 60 years is not that far to me. Now, let's see here, what we got here. XL Pro said, my parents and grandparents dealt with real racism. That's why I rarely speak on it. My mom turned 86 in a month. My grandfather lived to 98. Damn, bro. Yeah. I understand. Look, here's the thing. For people to understand, here's the thing. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and put racism as everybody's black people's problem. Like I said, I truly believe, black people's problem now is probably themselves. You know what I'm saying? To be introspective, but at the same time to be reality. The reason why the community the way it is because we were basically like I said, the cannon fodder. We were basically to be swallowed up by society. And do y'all know that Southern white people warned black people not to go to the North for that reason? They told black people in the South that if they went up there, the white people were just going to use them as, they're just going to prey on them, as in, like, for example, here's the thing. How do you think the industrial prison system makes money? They got to lock motherfuckers up. If they don't lock people up, they're going to go out of business. You think they're going to say, oh, you know what? Oh, you know what? There's no crime. You know what? Okay. There's no crime. Let's just close up all the courts. Let's just close up all the prisons and make playgrounds. Man, dude. Here's the thing. One thing I noticed, one thing about an RP is that I ain't gonna lie. I became red pill because of a fucking woman. But guess what? Now I'm red pill about life. Man, now I'll see that everything's a fucking goddamn gay. Every way is a twist and turn just to fuck your ass over. And it's something that has been going on from the beginning of time. You feel me? Somebody had a rule that, if you broke more than one stick, your ass was gonna fucking, have to fucking pay more coins to Caesar or some shit, dog. Like, they always had a way to try to fucking finesse your ass up your money, bro. Now, SkyDaddy44444 says, I have to give a little pushback. I don't believe racism is a real or even race. Shit. I see the biggest problem with so-called black people is the man-made booty that God and single womanism. Well, yes, but here's the thing, though. Where did that come from, though, SkyDaddy44444? Were melanated people like that before World War II? Were black people before that, before Vietnam? Before they went and got hooked on heroin? You know what I'm saying? All that mellow yellow and shit like that. Were black men all about booty when they had a father who was able to kind of man up to show them that, hey, because here's the thing. The silent generation, these men had had 2 different families, had other women, bro, to the point that their woman didn't even say nothing about having women. You think these silent generation guys, if it was up to them, ninjas would be sipping over one bitch? I don't think so, bro. But you know, we could agree to disagree. What I do believe that racism exists. I truly believe that racism. I could say to some degree racism was manufactured. I could definitely say that. Because here's the thing, once you start peeling back history, you start realizing that, there are black people all through Europe, there are black people in Russia, there are black people all over the place. So, maybe, I think I kind of understand your perspective of what you're saying, Sky Daddy. But I truly definitely believe that our current problem is we make booty our God and the single mother is that. Right now, I would say that those 2 things are definitely a problem in the black community's problems. Right now, even though, systematic racism is what put them into that position. Yes, I do believe that's our apparent problem right now. Now, exit process is more prejudiced people than racist, in my opinion. And I agree. Because here's the thing. There's some white people who really just don't like black people because not even so much that because they don't like black people, only because they don't really know much about black people from what they've heard from white people, from what they heard from their parents. Like I told y'all, man, seriously, y'all look at TV or y'all living in Brooklyn, or y'all living in New York, or y'all living in Miami, or living in LA. You think just because you see black people everywhere you look, every turn you turn your back, you think there's gonna be black people all. You think black people just walk around America like that? No. There's a lot of places like rural America and like any little places, man, where there's not even black people. Like, I mean, you might see a black person here and there, but it's like few and far between. He might be the only black person, or you might see a mixed black person or something like that. But there's some places that there are no black people. Like, trust me, I done drove through some of these states, especially in down south, like in Florida and in Georgia. Some of these places you don't see no white people, no black people. Some of these places you even see Confederate flags. Now, black people ain't everywhere. You feel me? And guess what? If black people ain't everywhere, so you tell me that, so all the places that there's no black people, there's no crime, man, we know that's a fucking goddamn motherfucking. You said it's all bullshit. All of it. Guess what? Cause that's another thing too. They're like, homeboy was sitting there here talking about gangs. What about white biker gangs, bro? Dude, they have white biker gangs, bro. To this day, they have white biker gangs. Dwayne Rose says racism is a business strategy that folks want to ignore. It is definitely a business strategy because guess what? They were able to sustain a lot of poor white people because white people felt good. The fact that white people were able to have superiority over black people in the South kind of gave them a few years to kind of try to see if they could get their economics and try to see if they could get the economy up and running. Dude, all the way up until like I would say the 80s and the 90s, the South was fucked up, dude. But they started industrializing the South and stuff like that. But the South was shit, man, compared to the North as far as building and infrastructure. But facts, Dan Rose. And Dan Rose says need to teach Dr. Thomas Sowell. He's going to need to teach Dr. Thames Sowell, Dr. Claude Anderson books in high school. Interesting. Oh, my boy Sky Daddy 444 comes through with a $5 super chat. Man, I appreciate
my nigga.
Lord, he says, for the fellowship, can you be so-called racist without having hate in your heart? I definitely believe that you have to have some hate in your heart if you just want to be racist. I mean, here's another too. It's one thing if a fact is a fact or whatever, right? But for you to actually be right, here's the thing. For example, if you say, half of black women are on welfare, right? If it's true, statistically true, then you're just stating a fact. But if you say, man, ain't no white people on welfare. It's only N-words on welfare because you know why? Because all they like to do is they don't want to work. All they want to do is do that, right? That would be racist because we know that's not necessarily true. Even though a lot of black women are on welfare, there's a lot of black women who, think that they're boss ladies too. So, but yeah, I definitely be have to have some type of hate in your heart to say something because now you actually look. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about racism too. Racism uses deceit. Racism is just based off of someone's color. It has nothing to do with the fact of what they truly believe. Like you could be a good black man and still be a problem for them. XO Pro says black people have issues comprehending class and culture. Too much thought on race. Well, you know why? Want to know why, XO Pro? Because we call ourselves black. If we would just start calling ourselves American, probably wouldn't even be a big deal. Like, for example, Mexicans or Cubans, Jamaicans, they just call themselves Jamaicans and Cubans. You kind of don't think about black too much when you just say your country or wherever you are. I don't know. I think black people we need to try to do that. Just be melanated. You ain't no black. You ain't no nigga. It was like the other night, XO Pro. Remember that when we had that young man or whoever came in here and said that the word black, the reason why we say black is because it came from the word niggas, which means black or some shit like that. I was like, if that's the truth, brother, man, then why don't you just call us niggas? Why you gotta call us niggas or black or African American? Why don't you just say niggas? But you don't, because guess what? You're just more comfortable saying what the press you say you are. White man say you black, so that's what you want to call yourself black. Do you know that's how there are black people? There are melanated people in America, and do you know if they're dumb enough to call themselves Negro instead of a Moor? That meant a Negro meant someone who's black with no rights. Do y'all know that? A Negro was a person with no rights, and immediately, whatever native black person that was already in America, if he said that he was a Negro or he said to being called a Negro, he was enslaved. He was put into chains and shackled and put into slaves because that's what Negroes have no right. But if he said that he was a Moor, he was protected by the Moroccan Treaty. Tell me how there was no black people in America even though there was a Moroccan Treaty. You have to look up the Moroccan Treaty. How is there no black people in America prior to slaves if they had a Moroccan Treaty before they even had the Declaration of Independence? Somebody explain that to me. Somebody, please explain that to me. Tell me, please, Lord.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Emotional damage.
Yeah, man, that shit is crazy, G. What y'all boys? Damn, look like y'all got a lot to say. God damn, I don't even think I can even keep up with the goddamn comments. Okay, we're gonna go through the comments right now. I gotta go run through them. I know I still got a show to do, right? But damn, I appreciate the love in here. Y'all going. And then he says, let's see here. He said, D-Girl says, no, now they're about to go watch over creating these drug dealers. Right, exactly. Randy Putman says, do you know that the Democrats were the slave owners in the Civil War? I did know that. Of course. I know. Hey, do you know? I'm gonna drop another fun fact. Do you know that that black people were mainly Republicans? Do you know that most of the Republican Senate in North Carolina were black until the person who made the National Observer. I think it was the National Observer. I forgot which newspaper it was, but they decided to basically expel all of the black Republicans and replace them with white Democrats. Do y'all know that? And that was after slavery. As a matter of fact, do y'all know the KKK were Democrats? The KKK were Democrats. And guess what? people still come around, especially black people, and say, the party switched. So what? Then one day they just met in a circle jerk, and it was like, okay, I'm a Republican, but I'm a Democrat, and now you're a Democrat and I'm a Republican. I'm gonna just tell you another twist too. Even though black people were mainly Republicans later on, because guess what? A lot of black people actually have conservative point of views. It is that we just rock with the liberals because we believe that liberals are the ones who gave us our freedom with civil rights when they didn't give us anything. If anything, they gave us poverty because once we decided to integrate in their communities, there was no reason to have black bus stations. There was no reason to have black baseball teams. There was no reason to have black basketball teams. There was no reason to have black diners. Think about that, y'all. You know, we actually have more being segregated than being integrated. Uh-oh. My camera froze for a second. Y'all see that? And I'm losing track of it. Okay. Dwayne Rose says the real pills about life. That's a bar. Yes, sir. Now, XM Pro says black men have it worse because we can have so many odds within our circle, including some family. Fact. Then Brady Putman said racism is just hate. Facts. Juice Man HVACR. Oh shit, H's back in the house. Okay, we got another tradesman in the house, XL Pro. He says, I'm a Chico. I fucks with Charlie Heavy. He's a real one like Malcolm X. He's not a real one. Because here's the thing. Malcolm X never lied about the facts. As a matter of fact, I'm glad that you bring that up, Juice Man. Because, yo, we about to pull up the rest of this video that I've been trying to play, but I was trying to run through these chats, but you had to bring this up, so I would have to disagree with you, bro. Look at the lies.
What percentage of blacks have a father around when they're raised?
I'm not sure.
20%.
So
80% of blacks do not have a stable father around.
That was a lie. The numbers are right there. Actually, black fathers are more involved in their lives than any other ethnic group. This is according to a study done by the CDC.
It is the most predictable way to end up in prison, end up as a murderer or a criminal.
And
it's not a racism problem. It's not a white supremacy problem. It's a fact that black fathers impregnate women and they don't stay around with the women that they have impregnated.
Charlie Kirk, do you think that happens more in the black community compared to others?
It's threefold. Number one, we subsidize single motherhood. Number two, it's culture. It's accepted in the black community.
Okay, so black people are actually the poorest ethnic group in this country, right? But through racist practices and programs put in place by this government, that is what actually led to the breaking and dismantling of the black family. Starting with programs such as the AFDC, Aid to Families with Dependent Children, where they had the man in the house rule, where basically you had to remove the man out of the house. The AFDC, that lasted, from 1935 to 1996, and that ushered in the TANF, which is Temporary Assistance for Needy Families. They disincentivized marriages and also pushed the whole broken home single mother thing. That was, again, a program from this government, not to mention the ASFF. The ASFF is the Adoption and Safe Families Act, where basically they will remove children out of the households, which they did disproportionately to black families, which contributed also to breaking up black households.
Black women married the government and divorced the men. Why do blacks have a broken family? Blacks commit more crimes than whites do.
And this here is a big one for me right here, right? So you have the numbers, violent incidents, these crimes. You see whites well over 15 million. You see where that number rests at for black people. In addition, you see that whites commit violent crimes against whites at a higher rate than blacks do against blacks.
So, yo, what you got to say about those, what's his name? Hold up. So, Juice Man, how is he a real one, man? Yo, Malcolm X never went to no college campus to go to debate no fucking children, bro. Malcolm X never went to no college to go debate children and debate white liberals. Malcolm X debated governors and senators and people about their opinions back and forth, like via TV, all the time, bro. And he went up against many heavy hitters. Dwayne Rhodes says racism is a part of business, sociology, economics, facts, of course. Yo, there was no such thing as white until America. Do y'all know that? There was no such thing as white people until America? How about that? Show me in European history where they said that they're white. They said they're English, they said they're Frenchmen, they said they were Protestant. Well, actually, the Protestants were the ones who got persecuted, and that's why they came to America in the first place. But white people were not going around calling each other white. White people were at war with each other. They didn't even like themselves. Now, Brady Putman says, I noticed my Mexican family, my black friends get hated when you succeed. You know why? I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke. I'm going to say this right now. You sound like you might be mixed, maybe. I don't know if you're mixed or what demographic you are. But you're obviously either black or you're Spanish. Well, I'm going to just say this much right now. If you have any white co-workers, I don't know what field you're in, but guess what? You start doing better than them. Watch how they act. Watch how they act, bro.
Emotional damage.
Hey, I'm not saying that, white people are evil or mean or nothing like that, but what I'm saying is that everybody's capable of not liking you because of your success. Shit. Trust me. Shit. Your own homies will be cool with you until your ass start making them feel bad about themselves when you come through with that, nice ass new car and shit, you coming through with the S600, your boys might start feeling some type of way, they're still driving a Honda Civic, right? Now, Skydaddy 4444 says, I would love to come up and speak my piece and unpack this with you. Man, you know what? We might have to maybe link up on another time because I would love to actually hear what you got to say myself, bro. Man, this show is almost even going off the rails even longer than I even thought. I'm trying to keep a tight schedule. Well, you know what I'm saying? You know what? You know what we're going to do? I'm going to read the comments. If I can read through the comments real quick, I might bring you up for like 2 to 3 minutes. Juice Man says the government not letting the women stay home instead they are at work and the phone is taking care of the children. Well, that's now though, Juice Man. That's now. But guess what? What facilitated people to even get into that position of being in that malarkey? You have to just kind of think about it a little bit. Who made them be on that? Who been on that? Think about it. Ronald Reagan, the same person who decided that he was going to allow drugs to be pumped into CIA, was the same one who decided to cancel no-fault divorce in California. And after that, once a large state passes a law, all the other states follow suit. So thank Ronald Reagan for that. Now, XL Pro says, if you have on a hoodie and a 90 degrees, I'm watching you and prejudiced towards you. Right. No doubt. I feel you. And I agree. D. Griff says, man, the northwest of the country barely has black folks. Right. Upstate New York, where all the cows and shit, black people don't be over there. D. Griff says, Utah barely has black people to the point that I only saw black children who were adopted. See? And remember they'll talk about the adoption thing, right? Skydaddy 4444 says everyone discriminates and has a right to discriminate. We get what we deserve in life. Sheesh. XL Pro says, I like the diversity. I want everybody money and variety of JoCo flavors. Right? Hey, I agree. You feel me? That's the real reason why Martin Luther King wanted them to start desegregating people. I want little black boys to play with little black girls.
that all up in me at one time. Don't try to make me take all that dick at one time.
Slow and easy.
He said, don't worry. I wouldn't do that to you. I would not rush all this dick up in you at one time. I'm going to take it easy on you. She said, okay, I think I can take it. So he laid down. The nigga rushed all that dick up in her.
Jammed it into there.
Jam and round.
Like Jam City.
All kind of dick up in that girl at one time.
Dang.
And took her breath some more.
And then D. Griff says, if you can, he says, and I quote, if you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he will know that you're picking his pocket. He'll give him somebody to look down on, and he'll empty his pockets for you. Facts. Facts.
He ain't lying.
He ain't lying. D. Griff says Lyndon B. Johnson. There we go. Damn, y'all boys speaking. Facts. Unique Renovation says he speaks the truth about black people and the truth hurts. Okay. Unique Renovation. I'm going to play this clip one more time. Well, did you just watch? You know what? Never mind. This message is kind of old. You watched, I played a video. Where was he? Dude. One dude sided where he was wrong. And I sided where he was wrong even before I even played that video. Sky Daddy 44444 says 30 plus in the building. Lord Drago 1 Sama says I knew that Chef Boss West. Yo, salute to tuning in, man. I appreciate you, Lord Drago. AKA Boss Neff from the RT 2.0. You know what I'm saying? Salute. Shit, matter of fact.
My nigga.
Shit. XL Pro, you know what I'm saying? He comes through. He says, like, share, subscribe to Cash App, $ Cali West 1. Matter of fact, salute to Parish, salute to P. Francis for coming through with the $5 super chat the other day.
My nigga.
Man, I appreciate you, G, for, man, supporting the channel, man, for real, bro. You're a real one, G. So if you're watching on the replay, gang, salute to P. Francis. You dig? For real, for real. And salute to XL Pro for, you know what I'm saying, for reminding people to hit up that Cash App, man. You know, your boy needs some chicken sandwiches. Come on, y'all.
My nigga.
Hashim Shabazz come through with the new world order. Shit, man.
Run! Go! Get to the chopper!
Terminally, lucidity says that's racist. That's exactly what Charlie Kirk was saying. Yo, dude, like, yo, you know what makes him racist to me? The fact that he's an intelligent man, so he knows fucking better. That's what fucking kills me, bruh. Oh, I mean, well, Lord, you know, please forgive me. You know, let's not use that word ill. You know what I'm saying?
This is a sick Negro.
But yo, that is definitely motherfucking racist, bro. Terminator also says exactly what you're talking about now. He says the welfare state. And then Extra Pro says most of these hoes was never in a relationship. He said for the bad to leave one night stands accident babies. Hey, that too.
Emotional damage.
He ain't lying.
Hey, facts.
My nigga.
Yeah, he's speaking on shit that he really didn't fucking know about. He's speaking on shit he really didn't even care about. He was just trying to make, see, he just wants white people to think that they don't do anything wrong when they're all over the country doing wrong. As a matter of fact, do y'all know that white men lead in, and do you know they lead in PDF? Do y'all know they lead in PDF, bro?
This is a sick Negro.
They lead in PDF, y'all. Now that's a statistical fact. You can look that up. Yeah. Now how about them apples?
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Excel Pro says my mom so difficult to deal with. If my dad had to leave, I would understand why. Yo, that's why we gotta have that seminar, Excel.
I want to do it the right way and learn some of the unwritten rules.
That's why I was talking about the seminar, so that we can get players to come down there and bring their grievance, their problem, how to catch a hooker, what you do to be a boss player, what do I say to my wife when I decided that I wanted to be a true player and walk out on the family. We need a seminar so we can teach these guys to give them the right understanding so they'll know, man.
For real, man. Shout out to XL Pro and XL Pro Senior, man. Salute. Sky Daddy says, bet 2 minutes is more than I need. Okay. Hey, we might get close to your dream, G. I think I'm going through these chats pretty fast. Hashim Shabazz says, I'm racist against ninjas wearing Pooh Shiesty masks. Hey, for real, bro. Hey, yo, for real. I have to agree with you with that, bro.
He ain't lying.
Yeah, man. Because when I see a motherfucker with a shiesty mask on, especially now that it's way after September, way past that COVID-19 shit, bro, and you walk around with that COVID mask on, bro, I'm already reaching for my shit, bro.
I can't believe you did this. I'm appalled. You ain't Paul. You a nigga that steal.
For real, man. You just a nigga that steal, bro. You just a motherfucking nigga that steal, bro. Straight up.
He ain't lying.
Or faking the funk. D Griff says Linda B. Johnson said that quote, Cali West, not me. I know, man. I seen Linda B. Johnson at the bottom. But salute to you, my G. Because, we need to hear that shit.
My nigga.
Now, Just Surfing says, check your info, especially about the crime statistics. Seems like that guy doesn't know how to read statistics. All right, what did we read wrong? Because here's the thing, bro. Black people are 13% of the population, okay? I don't know if you're black or what you are, right? But that most of those people, we all know that women outnumber men, especially black men. So guess what? We could call that. Let's just say if you want to be on if you want to just for conversation's sake, let's split that down to 6 or 7%. That means 70% of the population is doing most of the crime. Dude, black people don't even live in that much. This thing. Here's the hotspots for black people just surfing. The fact that you're saying just surfing is funny because my brother surfs, so I know black people surf, so you might be black, but more than likely you're white. I don't know. I don't know. Black people do surf. But anyway, as I digress, the whole point is that just surfing. But you're not also taking into consideration the fact that, damn, now what's my damn fault talking about the damn surfing shit. Where did I leave? Oh, back to the statistics. Let's just say that 7% there's no way that 7% of black people are doing most of the crimes. Most of the hotspots in America for black people are Los Angeles, Chicago, major metropolitan cities that are literally stacked on top of each other, New York City, places like that, where most of the black people are literally just stacked up on each other. A lot of these other places like rural America and middle America, and like places like upstate New York, major parts of Georgia, major parts of Texas and stuff like that, there are no black people around. Guess what? There's still a crime rate. So there's no fucking way statistically that black people could do most of the crimes. So, explain that away to me, just surfing. XL Pro said hoodie and mask, right. Then D Griff said, oh, okay. Then Cedric Beatty said, look, man, I don't care whether you like him or not. He doesn't deserve to be shot in cold blood. I serve for this country and the right for everyone to speak freely, whether I disagree with you or not. Okay, well, Cedric Beatty, I guess you would have to kind of point out wherever I was on here, agreeing that a man should be taken out. As a matter of fact, I even gave it a disclaimer earlier that I was actually upset that someone would even take him out because I don't believe that he deserves to even be a martyr. Like, he wasn't saying anything that groundbreaking to me, bro, at all. Like, dude, I didn't even know who. Look, I knew of him, and I technically liked him because of what he said about the whole little LGBT transgender kind of little them trying to transition kids stuff, and that's what I kind of agreed with him, and I kind of thought that he was kind of on. So when I kind of started hearing all this stuff, and I started kind of reviewing his videos, I'm kind of like, this. I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on, bro? That's when I was just like, that's when I looked at him like,
this is a sick Negro.
This dude's like tripping, bro. This man is only 31 years old, bro. I don't want him to get taken out. I don't look. Here's the thing, Cedric Baby. I don't want anyone to be taken out. You feel me? But, dude, I mean, you know, the dude was just saying, look, like I said, I'm not going to rationalize anyone getting taken out because I don't believe anyone deserves to be taken out, especially him. I mean, look, Nick Fuentes said worse shit than he did. The INC says I'm white. Shit, Bill O'Reilly said, look, yo, Bill O'Reilly has said worse. Shit, Joe Biden, y'all. Look, Joe Biden has said worse than this dude here, than this Charlie Kirk dude. Like I said, I don't wish death on anybody. No one has any of that. No one has that much power or authority over me, yo. Almighty King says, I have empathy for Charlie. He said he spoke the truth and stated facts. And black people are 13% of the population. But I just dispelled that fact already. He says, you're wrong. Black people commit a large portion of violent crimes. Okay, but guess what? That's actually not true. Because how can, okay, because, so you tell me, so let me ask the question, Almighty King, and we're going to do a test. Almighty King, so you're saying to me that all 33% of black people are doing the crimes? I'm just trying to understand because guess what? There are many U.S. cities and many major U.S. cities, but there's not many black people in. We already just dispelled that fact, so break it down to me. And yo, check this out, yo. Almighty yo, respond. Hey, do me a favor. Well, not even do me a favor. Do yourself a favor. Respond back to me. You know, with your answer, not in caps. Because the next time you be in caps in my chat, your ass gonna get zapped by one of my moderators. Yo, hey, moderators, y'all. Unless it's like the homies like Sky Daddy 444 who likes to type in all caps, unless it's somebody who got a wrench or one of the bros, if they say some shit that's kind of like out of line and they talking in all caps, you feel me? Zap them. You know, Sky Daddy, you cool, you know. Look, any boys is part of the righteous sphere, y'all cool. But anybody who's had disparaging comments and they disagree, do not be in all caps because I'm going to consider that shouting and you're going to get zapped by one of my moderators over here, all right? You're more than welcome to have your opinion and say whatever you want, but don't shout at me, all right? Make your thing off of caps. And shout at you come back again. He said, oh, we almost getting to the point that you're going to come on in a second, G, because I'm almost going through these comments. But look at the comments keep on going. God damn. Scott Daddy 444 comes with a $2 super chats. Hey, at least Almighty, if you're at least going to type in all caps, at least you're going to put some money on it. You know, hey, at least if you're going to talk that, you know, at least you're going to show me that white people are superior. At least drop some money on it, man. Okay, at least drop a few dollars in your comment. I probably would have let the cotton pass if it at least is a super chat. Hey, moderators and admins, if y'all see anyone super chat and it's in caps, but they at least super chat, let them slide. But if anybody comes in here and they talking shit like in caps, they get zapped. Hey y'all, and yo, Almighty's trying me tonight. Almighty's trying me tonight. No, Sky Daddy, you cool. Look, can one of y'all do me a favor? Can one of y'all? Oh, okay. Let's see here. Hold up. Sky Daddy or somebody who got a wrench. Hey, somebody who got a wrench. Hey, somebody who got a wrench. Zap this dude right here, bro. Let's see here. Yo, there's two dudes that need to be zapped. This Joey dude come over here like he's probably a bot. Then Almighty I'm about to block. Almighty, you about to be banned because I just told you not to be in all caps in my chat, and you went ahead and be in all caps again. I didn't say 30%. I said 13%. You're hearing wrong, and you're talking in all caps. Then okay, let's see here. Then let's go back. Tim Duncan says blacks don't even have empathy for their own, just demons bent on destruction. How could they have empathy for anything else? Well, Tim Duncan, let me ask you a question. When they were burning people at the Salem witch trials, did they give a fuck if those people were white? When they decided that, okay, let me ask you another question too. Have you, okay, when white people were burning black people and lynching them down south, were not there doing destruction and where was their empathy? Huh? How about that? How about when they're like raping people and stuff like that? Explain that. See, people really come with that bullshit, man. See, now it's just a bunch of like racist people coming here. But guess what? Eat a dick. And Tim Duncan, you might even be black. So I don't know. But like I said, like even if you're black, bro, you can't just fall for that. Like I said, I like to hold the black community accountable. But you know what I'm saying? Let's just be real, bro. Like you're acting like the black or white community is great. It's not. I live in Florida. If you go to Davie and to those little trailer parks and stuff, shit is going down over there. And there are no black people over there. Cedric Bader says, yes, I'm with you. And then he says, yep, Broadway Joe has said worse. And then the zone says, zap like Charlie. Oh shit. Oh, damn. Yo. Ink.
You said it's all bullshit. All of it.
Yo, but you got a point there. Hey, yo. The Ink got a point there.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
You've been zapped. Is it too early? Is it too early, y'all? Is it a little too early? All right, it's too early. Whew. Maybe too early.
This is a sick Negro.
Okay. Scott Daddy talking about my bad caps. I didn't notice it until I sent the super chat. Oh man, it's all good, brother. It's all good, brother. And then the INC said you gotta stop speech. You gotta stop speech? Oh. You gotta stop what? Freedom of speech? I hope not. The Dark King and everything and nothing says salute to Callie and the chat. I appreciate it for coming through, G. Okay, so Sky Daddy said he want to say his piece. He said he wants to add to this. So this is what I'm gonna do. Sky Daddy 4444. I'm gonna invite you on here. All right. Let's see here. I'm gonna invite you on here. I'm gonna put the chat in here. So you can join in. Spur of the moment. I'm going to put it in the chat. So Sky Daddy, you ready to come on, G? Let me know. Nobody but else. I'm only expecting Sky Daddy 4444 to come on right now. Nobody else right now. Now, Jay Surfing in between the time, he then says, Jay surfaces, I'm black, and where are they found? He said, it's not about the whole population, it's about the percentage of murders. You hit the nail on the head. Where do you think most crime happens in the cities? But that's false. No, that's not true. What statistic that shows that only inner cities is actually having crime? Because that's actually false. It's not true. And then remember, too, in these inner cities, there's still white people in these inner cities. Remember that. Don't forget that. And here's another thing, too, by the way, too, just for surfing, even though you're black. Just to let you know, black people don't do most crimes because guess what? Not all crime. One, just on face value, that's wrong. You know why? Because not all crimes are solved. So how do they know? If there's unsolved cases, right? If there's cold cases, right? Cases that they haven't even solved at all. Look, The dude who popped Charlie Kirk almost fucking got away because they grabbed the old man whose pants was falling off. Let's not consider the fact that they were planting drugs on black people in these inner cities as well, right? Do you know there's a lot of white police officers, retired police officers who were able to send their kids to college off the fact that they were planting drugs on black people? Let's not forget the fact that body cameras is a new age thing. You know how many people was getting beat before Rodney King and get thrown into jail and signing fake confessions and all that? What about people who don't even have good lawyers, public pretenders, aka the public defender on their case? No, black people are most disproportionate. Are more convicted. That doesn't mean that they are actually the most who do crime. But see, there they go with the lies, bro. Or there they go believing their people's lies. And my boy Skydaddy 44444 is on. And then D Stone says hello. My boy Skydaddy in the background. D Griff says, bro, the shooter actually debated him. Oh, I heard something like I heard something to that effect. Do you know that the dude even got a scholarship at the school? Then only deal says cope. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. And then Skydaddy Just Surfing says, you're literally saying you don't agree with it when it comes to the murder statistics, but you agree with it when it comes to fatherless statistics. That's false, see? Okay. That's false. That's actually false because I never said that I agree with old boy statistics at all. Only deal says laughing my ass off. I don't know what that means. Okay. And then I see some Ruffler says most of them made a mockery out of the death of Trayvon Martin. He said he was an underage kid in the state of Florida. They didn't have empathy for Trayvon. And it was so funny too. I hear some black people saying that Trayvon, they don't really feel sorry for Trayvon. Based off the information I say, here's the thing. Let's just say Trayvon Martin did start kind of beating up on a dude. Homeboy put his hands on him. Last time I checked, you have a right to defend yourself in Florida. Only deal says, are you implying that unsolved crimes are unsolved only for non-blacks? He says at a 5 times rate. I'm not implying anything. What I'm implying is the fact that black people are disappropriately convicted for crimes. Does not consider the fact that they don't even have sufficient legal representation. And let's just be honest too. There is a system built on getting people locked up. So guess what? So just because you were stealing a pizza, right, and you got locked up in jail because that was your 3rd or 5th time. So that means that all black people do the crimes. We're not. Oh, by the way, too, anybody who wants to argue with me about these statistics before I bring in my boy Skydaddy 444, I'll say this much. Tell me why white men make up the high percentage of PDF files. Do you know what I mean by PDF? I'm not gonna say the word for me because guess what? I'm monetized, motherfuckers. But guess what? You know what I mean by PDF file. What does PDF file sound like? Explain to me, anyone who want to go talk about how black people do most of the crimes, tell me that why white men do most of the PDF filing. Tell me about that. Other than that, I don't want to hear what the fuck else you guys say.
Silence, you furry fool! I've had it with your whining and bumbling.
Shout out to my boy Skydaddy 4444. He is in the building.
Yo, what's up, Wes? What's up,
my G? What's up, my G?
Lou.
Thanks for tuning in, G.
Thanks for bringing me up. But I want to speak my piece on the topic because I saw this space as the best option in order for guys to try to, understand what I'm putting down on a spiritual tip. I saw that you guys were the most level-headed as far as, being Coach Tribe. And really, we got to be led by the Spirit. A lot of times we're not acting masculine. We're not acting masculine at all. We're not operating from the inner dimension from within. The Father works within us and above us. So if we asked ourselves, do most men put doing what's right with all their heart, soul, and might? That's what a man is. Now, once you start worrying about this and that, racism, depression, we sound just like a woman. And most of us have anger and we had a spirit of our mothers. So how can we say that it can be anything else if we're not taking care of that first? So that's why I say I want to speak my piece, because if we're not focusing on what's going on inside of our home, We can't focus on what's going on in our neighbor's home or down the street. And that's what I see a lot of so-called black men doing, which is a misnomer, even calling yourself black by even saying that. I mean, black means the absence of color. Clearly, we're brown. So that's why I don't believe in racism, any of that type of stuff, because honestly, it's weak. It's a weakness. And like Coach says, you know, with most men, just in general, they're acting like Mitches. They're acting just like their mothers. So how can we say it's anything else if we haven't addressed that issue? So that's why I want to speak my piece. And I appreciate you giving me that time to just speak that. But for any man out there who has anger, who has depression or anything like that, racism, not your problem. Clean out your cup first, carry your cross, and then go from there.
I don't know if you can. I can hear you. I can see you. I can hear you all. Trust me. I got it going, Fiji. The one thing I can definitely say is that I think for the most part, I believe I agree with your sentiment. Here's the thing. I just think we need to be careful about saying that racism does not exist. I don't look. Do I believe that racism is a direct problem for Black Americans now? Not necessarily. I would honestly say that, especially in the last, I would say in the last 20 years, Black people have had an opportunity more than they had that their fathers and their fathers have had. You know, now, you know, within the last 20 years, I would say. But here's the thing. Here's why I believe this is where race even comes in an issue. And you know, look, you tune into my channel. I really don't even really talk about the race issue. As a matter of fact, you know, we Culture Gang, we are very, very judgmental about the Black community. And we have a lot to say about the Black community, a lot of things that we all agree to, right? But here's the thing. But when someone like Charlie Kirk says, well, Black people have been free for 150 years, but they're not even up to white people's level, then, you know, why are they not up to this? And then they sit around and say racism doesn't exist. You're a goddamn lie. Like, let's not be disingenuous. If he believes that racism is not a problem for Black people now, that could be something that I could maybe even be willing to have had that conversation with him if he was still amongst the living. What I have a problem is that he's being disingenuous with the fact that he doesn't even want to take into consideration the fact of Jim Crow. He doesn't want to take into consideration the fact of redlining. He doesn't want to take into consideration that there was a Vietnam War. He doesn't want to take into consideration that the CIA and FBI and CONTRAPRO not only conspired to kill our leaders, but also pump drugs in for the Contras from Venezuela, Colombia, and Bolivia, right? So that's when race has to be brought up. Like, we can't just come around and say, oh, well, you know what? Black people, we're just pieces of shit and we didn't want to do anything for 150 years. We can't honestly talk about that if we're going to have that discussion.
Okay. If somebody laid a kilo of coke at your front door today, would you use it?
Well, you know what? We're not going to ask any questions about that because I personally would not. Me, Cali West, probably would not. But guess what? All right. But here's the thing. I'm going to bring up a good point about that. And I'm glad that you should bring that up because guess what? There are people who decided to take the opportunity because they were broke. They're already in broken homes and they decided to go take an opportunity because guess what? There are white people doing it. And I hate to say this. I hate to say the white people doing it too. White people were pushing it too. But guess what? It was more profitable to go target the inner city when it came to that. And also the Black communities were basically essentially where ground zero where all the drugs was coming from. It also only became a problem when they found out that their biggest customers were the white kids. And so hold up. Now, I also put a one little second. I'm gonna pass the ball to you because guess what? During the 1920s and stuff like that, when they did have prohibition, do you know who was pumping all the drugs and stuff like that? They had Dutch gangs, they had Italian gangs, they had Hebrew gangs. Guess what? In the same places that Black people are shooting each other up now.
So during civil rights, when they literally had signs that said, "Niggy, don't bring your ass over here," and they had fathers in the home, they had character. They weren't killing each other like 71 going north. There's a highway here in Ohio. What was the difference then than now? Like, why were they able to have a higher character, better societies, better homes? It's because the fathers were in the home. Civil rights was the worst thing that ever happened to so-called Black people because it replaced the father with the government. And who made that? Who made that choice? The same people that's making the choices today. Who called a slave catcher on you, aka child support, aka alimony, family court. It was the women bit the apple the same way that they did back then. So is
That's
it
part
racist?
of the problem. That's part of the problem. That's part of the problem. Well, that's part of the problem. Here's the thing, bro. Look, this is one thing I learned about human behavior, and this is something that the government has already known. I hear what you're saying, but they are. Listen to here, and this is something that is a cold hard fact. There are white people in society who've been taking advantage of the government, i.e., welfare, and guess what? The greater masses of white people, the white people that people aspire to be like and live that American dream, they shun these type of people and push them to trailer parks and the other edges of society, just like that they do black people. Well, my point is that whenever someone has an opportunity, a lack thereof, all humans are going to act the same.
Yeah, to me, it's just a weakness because we see immigrants come in, they don't fall for the traps. We see, Esmeralda, she'll stick with Juan, and no matter how broke he is, he working a taco stand, he in front of Home Depot. They don't sell their men out like that. So why do black women do it? Like that's dark.
Hey, peep this. When people have been poison dripping a culture from an enslaved race for the last 60 years, bro, they're gonna perform differently than an African, than a Jamaican, than a Honduran who doesn't have the government to depend on shit. They might not even be legally able to live in the country. So guess what? They're not gonna go down to the welfare office.
So let's address. I say let's address.
Hold on, wait. Sky Daddy 4444. I'm gonna let you land your plane and say your point, and then after this, we're gonna go back to the regular scheduled program. So it's on PG. Go ahead.
So what I see is that men are not making the real God their God. They made booty their God, and then it's a spiritual order to things. And it goes a little something like this. It goes the Most High, your spiritual practice, men, women, children. Whenever that order is broken, we're going to see what we see nowadays. So you can blame it on racism, homophobic-ism, dad-be-dad-ism. You can name a lot of different things, but if you're not addressing that spiritual dimension, we're going to continue to fail, and we're going to continue to make a lot of excuses for it. And for me, it's really sad that us as men, we're making excuses for our problems because we know that we get what we deserve out of life. We can see that, people are not making the right decisions. And then once we make the right decisions, we could deal with so-called racism. But if we keep crying about being in the hole, we're never going to get out the hole. And that's my biggest problem with it. That's why I don't want to focus on so-called racism, because then we're not taking accountability. And that's it. That's just me landing the plane. So what I would say to all men out there, put what's right first with all your heart, soul, and might, and then you can go from there. You'll go from there. You'll make better decisions. But if you keep blaming it on this, and that, you're never going to be able to do what you need to do, man. And I don't know if you can still hear me, Cali West, but I'm out, man.
Yo, man, I'm still here, bro. Man,
all right.
Look, you already know. Hold up, you ain't gotta go yet. Yo, you already know. I'm a G in these YouTube streets, bro. I just got you. I was just letting you get the floor, bro. You feel me? When I let you get the floor, I get to do my little background stuff. I get to go through the little chats a little bit. I got you, though. You know what I'm saying? I want you to kind of land your plane because I wanted people to really hear your opinion. I'm
simple, man. I'm like the Most High. I don't need a whole lot of stuff. I'm simple. I like to get straight to the point. And I want to say something to y'all real quick. The Most High is very, 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 very simple. Keep it simple, man. We don't have to get into all these this and that. It sounds really weak. It sounds narcissistic. And when I hear stuff about racism, it sounds like a woman. It sounds like somebody's mama. That's what I hear. So if we address the real issues, getting our women in order, getting ourselves in order, getting our children in order, I guarantee you racism won't be a problem. Because back when they had so-called Jim Crow and signs that said, nigga, don't bring your ass over here, they did a lot better during those times compared to what we got now.
Let me ask you a question, though. When you go to your doctor's office, do you think when you tell your doctor that your belly's aching, do your doctor just give you some pills when you go into the office and tell you to call him in the morning? No, right? You know why? Because he has to make an analysis of what's going on. In order to resolve a problem, you have to look at the issues at hand. I'm not a big race baiter here on my channel. I don't even bring up even this old white people racism stuff. I'm not a victim, okay? But if someone's going to bring up something like he said 150 years, black people were free for 150 years, and makes a statement like that and make a blanket statement without taking consideration the setbacks that black people had in this country, right? Like, for example, the Indians got what's that thing called? They got a reparations. The casinos. The Japanese got redemption. What's that thing called? A reparation for being in the concentration camps, even though they were the U.S.'s enemy, and it made sense to a lot of people who were, of Japan descent, right? Because they knew they had spies, right? But guess what? They still compensated them. But black people were slaves, and they were supposed to get 40 acres of you. And guess what? When Abraham Lincoln got taken out, they decided, look, the vice president who became the president at that time decided that he was going to give that land, the 40 acres of the mule, to poor people. Do you know that? In the South, he was a Democrat. So, he was a Republican who had Democratic roots, right? So, if we're going to have the discussion, it has nothing to do with sound like your mother if you're having an intelligent discussion of where the roots of grassroots or something. I'm not saying now, like I said, I truly believe that black people have the great opportunity now in the last 20 years, I think, for the most part. Here's the thing. Hold on, wait. Here, what I'm saying is, my point is that there are other issues at hand, but there's no way that we could just go ahead and just ignore the fact of what happened before. We're going to have a discussion about how black people and the state of black people are in now.
Well, can I ask you, Scally West, before I go? Were black people doing well in the 1950s?
You said, were black people doing well in the 1950s? Yes. Well,
okay.
All right. Well, here's the thing, Scott Eddie. See, you probably came up. See, that's the thing, brother. You were doing your show, so you missed this part already. I already stated that black people were doing good prior to segregation. And the reason why is because black people were segregated and we were forced to incorporate ourselves, where we had our own doctors, we had our own diners, we had our own bus system, we had our own baseball, our own basketball, we had our own everything. We had our own infrastructure.
So was we forced or did we fall for the trap?
Oh, definitely fell for the trap. Well, and see the thing, and I'm going to be honest with you, Sky Daddy. We can talk about this all night, but man, this show's already going 2 hours. I'm technically going to have to go into overtime, G.
Let me speak.
But huh?
I said, thanks for letting me speak my piece, man. I love you.
And when I love you too, G. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, your boy on a little bit of a time constraint, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I'm a content creator, so I know, man.
Right. But I think everybody enjoyed it because I did get some comments. Do you want to stay for some comments real quick?
Yeah, for sure. Let me see what they. Let me see what they got.
Some comments. Okay, I'm gonna rewind it back, man, because there's a lot of comments.
So be nice to me.
Can I say something too before we read these comments? Can some of y'all look? I am monetized. Can y'all hit up the super chat? Jesus Christ, man, Lord, I was like to say my name in vain, but y'all could look. Y'all saying a lot of stuff, and y'all got me doing a lot of reading. Y'all can hit up the Cash App. Y'all can hit up the super chat. You know what I'm saying? Come on now, y'all. Show your boy Cali West some love. You dig? You feel me? Come on now, y'all enjoy the show. Come on, man.
Well, what comments we got, man? Let me hear them.
All right, I'm gonna read a bunch. Oh boy, where'd I leave off?
Hit that super chat, y'all. Everybody give $1, man. Go a long way.
You feeling me? Okay. He said, do you think Charlie Kirk's assassination was wrong? Is it a bad direction for the country? I definitely think popping anybody's wrong.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened with Charlie Kirk. The guy that said great right after he got shot, that gave a signal. There's a guy sitting to the right of Charlie Kirk with a white hat on and a white shirt. He tugs on his straight military. He rubs his face. That's also a signal. He's also taking a camera or video of the guy that says great, who's talking to Charlie Kirk, as collateral. Also, his bodyguard reaches over his left side, rubs his right arm. That's a signal as well, too. This is all military. Charlie Kirk, it was 100% a coup. They killed him because of what he represented to a greater mass of conservative younger males that are going to push America in a certain direction. And right now, they want America to go in the direction to where they're controlled by CBDC, which is a cryptocurrency, and it's going to be the money and how they control everybody. So it's much deeper than what y'all saw. Charlie Kirk was just a crucifixion, and he was sending a signal, fear-mongering, to other people that might try to step up.
Well, I do believe there's a greater conspiracy to it, don't doubt. So this is what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to just read the chats, I, to be honest with you, I'm not really trying to answer all of them. Because, dude, if we sit down here and answer them, we're gonna be hard here all day, and I gotta go through the show. I just want to see if there's anything. Here's the thing, because they're gonna. I just wanted to run through the chats only because I just wanted to show them some love. You feel me? That's all. You dig? Here's the thing. Hold up. We got Imagine Shelters. He says it's only Black and Hispanic cultures that glorify killing each other. To sit here and deny it makes you a part of the problem. It's called charrette for a reason. It's called drill music for a reason. Okay, so here's the thing. I would like to actually answer to that, and hopefully I don't be here too damn long. I do want to actually respond to that because that's actually a great point, right? But let me ask the question: who runs those companies? Because I'm gonna just tell you this right now. I'm a hip hop head. I've been a hip hop head probably since I've been listening. Look, I used to be into nothing but Bob Marley, Michael Jackson until I found out about rap. Once I found out rap, I fell in love. But one thing I know about rap is rap has many genres and many different types of MCs. But guess what? Unfortunately, the only people who was getting record deals in Los Angeles were the gangster rappers. So they, and guess what? And who was hiring these gangster rappers and who was running these labels? People who were non-Black people.
It's them Z-boys. It's them Z-boys.
And listen to this. And the rappers and producers and record execs met with FBI too, by the way, to actually poison the Black community with this music.
Yeah, it's the Z-boys, man. And it's and it's not just limited to people, who have peach skin. It's a variety of different people that are in on it. When they meet up at these economic forums and stuff like that, you see people from India, people from Russia, you see people from Africa. They all in on it, and they find different ways to control the people on their land. It's like, sure.
Right. It's definitely some psychology to it, no doubt.
The music is the biggest factor behind that, though. The music.
Right.
It's a vibration.
Man, this is what we're going through. Man, I'm going to just, look, y'all got too many comments, and I'm just going to go through everybody from the righteous sphere for now, because it's too many, bro. I'm going to be here all night, and I definitely got to go on with the show. Let's read out for everybody from the righteous sphere, and we're going to go through these comments real quick. Boom. Yeah, some people are mad. There's a lot of people are mad in the comments, but I ain't about to read all that shit, man. Magic Production says big facts. D. Griffin said, "What's wrong with being angry?" You want to answer that, Sky Daddy 444?
Because anger is an emotion, and we know.
Hold on. My bad. Rewind. Hold up.
First off, D. Griff, hit dogs holler. And can you hear me all right?
Yeah, go ahead, you.
Okay, hit dogs holler. So anger is an emotion, and emotions are going to build you up to let you down. Anger creates a step. We know that we're supposed to be logical as men in order to get to the goal, and we're supposed to lead women. So if you create a step called anger, it's going to take you away from the goal. That's what's wrong with being angry. Not to mention you can be manipulated.
You can definitely be manipulated, because that's look. You know what I realized too. You know what I realized too. Scott Eddie 444. What I realized as well is that you end up realizing life is just a big shit test.
For sure,
life is just a big shit test. Sometimes you don't get a second try at it. You feel me?
Absolutely. So that's what's wrong with anger. Any man that has anger is a woman. Next comment, Cali West. Let's keep it moving.
Right. But I do want to kind of talk about this anger issue thing, though. It's the fact that one thing I do like is the fact that there's a difference between being angry and definitely being persistent or being aggressive. Because guess what? You could be acting aggression, but it's not really anger. It's because of aggression. You kind of know you got to run fast to go take out your enemy, right? So that's not necessarily anger. That's kind of more motivation and aggression, which is the difference, right?
Anger means out of control.
Right.
It's out of control.
Yeah. Just because angry and aggression sound the same doesn't mean that, that is necessarily that you're mad, okay? Or you're upset.
Absolutely. Anger is an emotion, and men are not supposed to have emotions. I don't care what anybody tells you. A man is not supposed to have emotions.
And I take that back. I think it's okay to maybe even be upset, because you could be bothered. It's angry. There's a difference between anger and being upset.
Good comment, D.
Right.
Mama Spirit.
Right. Let's get it. So D Stone says preach. Then Magic Production says feminine. Then XL Pro says 100. And then D Stone says I could get behind that. And then D Grill says exactly, Callie. D Grill says I like that they're having a different viewpoints here with proper speech discussion. May have to sub, man. Go ahead and do that. Please do.
Department of the Coach Tribe. So if you're trying to overcome through the spirit and you want something more on that level, I'm in that department. I've been watching content for a long time. I chose this lane because I saw that it was a need for it. Coach gives great information on a secular level. I give great information on a spiritual level. Holla at your boy.
He means Coach. He's referring to Coach Greg Adams. If y'all don't know. So yeah. So then we got Magic Production says it's 2025. Brother, come on. Okay. Then Livestrong says you talking nonsense. Did your ancestors said racism is not a factor when they said being killed and being slaughtered?
Let me touch on that real quick. What's his name? Livestrong. First off, you need a profile picture. That's number one. So you sound like a bot. Number two,
right?
We could fast forward all the way to 1950. We could fast forward all the way to 1950, where we all know that our ancestors, so-called black people, which is a term that was given to you by a race hustler named Jesse Jackson, and the ops, who is an agent named Al Sharpton, but he go by being Benjamin Crump today. But I digress. So if we fast forward all the way to 1950, and we know that they were doing well at that time, why do you need to worry about racism? Why not just pick it up from there, and we can figure out in real time what happened? Next comment.
We agree to disagree, but I think I already landed my point about that earlier. So no doubt. Then Dwayne Rose says 3 words that most people don't understand the full scope of applications of words. 3, prejudice, bigotry, and racism, even leaving the U.S. out of it. Then he says, look at all the business practices with the UK and India. He says, hold on. So let's go back to what Dwayne Rose said. 3 words that most people understand the full scope of the application of the word: prejudice, bigotry, and racism. Even leaving the U.S. out of it. Look at the business practices with the UK and India. Well, here's the thing too. Oh shit! Hold up. Oh shit! Hey yo. Hold up. We gotta show some love to Just Surfing he came through with a 1999 silver sticker. I appreciate you, Mikey. I appreciate that, man. You know what I'm saying? No doubt. We gotta show love, to the contributors. So Sky Daddy, you wanna kind of say what you think of? Well, I guess we kind of already understand what you gotta say about that.
First off, racism is a made-up word. Look up when racism, the word, was created. It was created, I want to say, around the 1940s, something like that. It was never a word until around that time. It wasn't even a real word. And everybody has a right to discriminate. I discriminated by wearing a mailman suit. Callie West discriminated by putting on a black shirt. But as far as racism, it doesn't exist. I want somebody to give me an example of it. If you don't have hatred in your heart, it's impossible to be so-called racist against somebody. We didn't know what racism was at the age of 3, 5, 10, all before adolescence. This is something that was told to us. It's not our true nature. So when you believe in something like that, it's going to lead you astray.
But Sky Daddy 444, so let me ask a question. I don't think it's so much that necessarily all black people just believe in the necessary racism or even race. Here's the thing. Just because a word wasn't made, look, here's the thing. People didn't know what oxygen was, but guess what? We was breathing it, and guess what? People who were dumb enough to go into caves back in the prehistoric days died for some reason. For reasons why? Because there was lack of oxygen. They didn't understand that air has something that they were supposed to breathe, right? So just because something doesn't have a definition doesn't mean that it never existed. What I would say about this is, I understand racism was a made up construct, but here's the thing: all made up things could still become a reality. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that I don't believe racism should be used as a crutch. But when we have these discussions, when people start going ahead and want to point the phone at black people, if you can't even if you're not even willing enough to even admit that black people got dealt a bad hand, then guess what? You're being disingenuous. And here's another two.
We did get dealt a bad hand, and it was our parents that dealt us the bad hand.
Okay. Well, like I said, that was my point, and and you said your point, and and guess what? We could just agree to disagree. Oh well, we could agree because here's what. Hold on, because I agree, but we got to understand too. Here's the thing. There's a reason why. Here's the thing. The reason why Asian people are less inclined to get on welfare is because here's the thing. Welfare is an embarrassment. Here's the thing. I don't know if you remember this guy, Daddy 444. Listen to this. Hold up. Remember back in the day, people used to be scared to be on welfare. They used to hide their. They used to go to the grocery store at night, wanting to even sign their little welfare checks.
Yep.
Hey,
yep.
Kids were even scared to use their lunch tickets at school because if you got lunch tickets, that means that means your parents was on welfare.
Yep.
So yeah. 100. So guess what? So what my point is that the reason why Asians are less likely to be on any public assistance more than any demographic is because they couldn't depend on what's those things called? They couldn't depend on one, welfare, and then two, they actually, do you know that Asians actually had more rights when it came to opening larger businesses and having more rights to businesses back in the day, even before Black people? Even though Black people had to own their own businesses from the ground up, but to own, operate, and serve white people, they joined the white people to sign contracts so they could serve white people. Did you know that?
Let me tell you how
in the cities.
Yeah,
No, hold on, hold on. I just wanted a yes or no answer. That was a yes or no answer, but that's okay. That's okay. Let me land my point. Well, my point is that the reason why you do not see Asians on welfare assistance, right, is because they didn't have a system of people where the system. Well, here's the thing: Black people are a commodity when we came to these major cities. We were the main ones that were getting locked up. We were the first ones. Well, we were the first ones fired, the last ones hired. So we didn't just get here because our women decided to just take the welfare. See, here's the thing: people think Black women were living high off the hog and they just decided to just get welfare. No, the people who decided to get welfare was already the below rung Negroes who already didn't have anything much to look forward to. That perpetuated. That was the beginning. That was ground zero. Well, my point is that, and I'm gonna say it again, is not that what Sky Daddy is saying is not true as far as our current situation, but to say that racism was never played a factor with it, man, we can't be real about that.
No, they wanted Pookie D. They wanted Pookie D, and they wanted the support system. So they traded us in for Pookie D, just like they do now. They didn't want a good man. They wanted to be free. They wanted to be liberated. They wanted to operate off their ego. And in the 1970s, stuff got out of control, and we've been free falling ever since.
Hold up. Oh, damn it. Oh. I was trying to put you in.
And one thing with Asians that we didn't mention is that they're also number one in class. They also number one in work ethic, and then they also number one in character, and that's why they excel.
Actually, well, why are they better in class and better in studies?
Because of their culture. That's why they're better, because they have a culture where you just said that it's an embarrassment, which is true, to be on welfare, to take government handouts, to say that another man's going to feed your family. And now that we've allowed it to go on for so long, a normal right is wrong and wrong is right. And that's what we see in the so-called Black community by even calling ourselves Black. That's the term that was given to us.
I'll definitely agree with that. I believe when people of color say that they're Black, they're definitely accepting that they're inferior to somebody else. Because the whole reason why they even set up Black and white was in America. Europeans never called themselves white.
If we head to Asia right now, we go to Russia, we go to Africa. You know what they call us, Cali West, me and you, with this melanated skin?
I don't know.
They're Americans, and that's what we are.
Right.
And
like
for a lot.
Wait, they'll call us Americans, right? You said.
Absolutely, they call us Americans. They wouldn't get it. So us as men, we need to stand strong on that. And that's what's going to move the needle. That's why I don't want us to focus on racism or anything like that, because it's taking us away from the real problem and the real issue. We'll worry about that later. We'll get big bad boogeyman Whitey underneath our bed down the road. But if we're going to tie our own shoes together and trip over those before we even get out the starting point, then we're already cooked. And if I say, hey, look, it's racism, and I say I'm supposed to be a spiritual person, I'm supposed to be strong or something like that, I'm just as bad as everybody else. Somebody got to lead the charge in the right direction. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do.
I say this much. At least we agree to that. You know what I'm saying? Even if we disagree with how it led to it, we definitely agree with the conclusion. So, man, yo, salute to you, Sky Daddy. And, man, I really appreciate you for tuning in and coming through. You feel me? We're gonna go through this chat and hopefully we'll get through what that crazy ass what's that crazy ass girl name? She pretty as hell, but that bitch batshit crazy. Amanda Seales.
She's like
that's coming up soon.
And one more thing before I hit the road, man. I want to say out there to all my brothers, you know, it doesn't matter what the color is, man. Truly get to know yourself. Know thyself. Know that it starts with you, man. And it starts with how you're approaching things as far as how you see things and how you're dealing with things. And if you do have anger, depression, or anything like that, get to know yourself, be still, and know that I am God, and trust in that, and everything else is going to work itself out, man. But until you can do that and be okay with yourself, you're never going to be all right with anything else, man. That's my 2 cents. Cali West, I appreciate you a million for bringing me up. Shout out to the Coach Tribe. Shout out to everybody in the chat, man. And if I stay any longer, I'll have to charge you guys. So I got to go.
Oh, no. G. No, sir. But I appreciate you, G. For
Yes,
salute. Yo. So, yeah, man, you know, that off a shot. Daddy 444 coming through, man, to the chat real quick. You dig? You know? Let's see here. I'm about to go through the rest of the chat. Oh, okay. Then, okay. Major production. He said big facts. And then he says loser argument. Then D. Griff says a small percentage of black folks that sold drugs. Then Extra Pro says like, share, subscribe. Cash App, Cali West 1. Magic Production says big facts. I don't know what he's saying big facts too. I'm just trying to go through the chat. He said, Matt Riggs says if it were up to if it was up to Charles Kirk, we'd be in chains right now. Sheesh.
Run! Go! Get to the chopper!
Right. Yeah, like here's the thing, man. Like I said, I'm not even in disagreement with the black community getting their shit together because look, like the black community doing a lot of fuckery. And we here on the Cali West Miami call out black people for their bullshit all the time. But yo, if a white person gotta say something to say, you know, he better back his shit up. You know what I'm saying? Because look, I do believe that white people could be part of the conversation. But if you're gonna lie or you're not gonna be disingenuous, or when people start asking you questions, now you're being disingenuous. That's where we gonna have a problem. You feel me? That's where we're gonna have a problem. Damn, that's crazy. So that's crazy. So what happened? Like, you know, a lot of people then left. I don't know. Damn. I guess they didn't want to see two black people on the screen. I don't know. That might have been too much, huh? Is that what it was? What happened, bro? Like everybody, a lot of people done left.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Oh. Who are these niggas? I cried laughing when I read. You know what I'm saying? like, we need to stay away from these niggas.
Oh shit. Damn, let me go through these comments real quick. You know what? I'm getting almost flooded with comments, bro. Nothing but comments. Sky Daddy 4444 says, Sky, he says, thanks for bringing me up, big dog. Amazing fellowship. Seek first, fellas. Yo, check out my boy Sky Daddy 44444. You know what I'm saying? He's leading the spiritual tip. You know what I'm saying? He is Coach Gang. So salute to my boy, man. Thank you for coming in. I think that was a very interesting dialogue. You know what I'm saying? We might be able to even chop that up and even make that into a short. You dig? So salute to coming in and thank you for tuning in once again. And thank you for coming to the chat, and thank you for supporting the show, my G. Yo.
My nigga.
He said, D-Girl says, we already know Sky Daddy isn't going to answer my questions. Oh, shit. You know what? I didn't get to read all the chats, so don't do him like that, D-Griff. You feel me? You know, don't do him like that. You know what I'm saying? He probably didn't even get a chance to even see your question. So, you know, and that's part of my fault because, see, I try to show y'all boys love and show everybody love, whether it's new people or even people who don't subscribe, because I try to be that etiquette, try to answer everybody's chat. But answering all these chats is actually extending this show long. And then, you know, because now think about it, my boy Sky Daddy, he was probably on for no more than 10 minutes. I don't think he was on that long. Was he? It didn't seem like he was on that long. So, you know, but the chats is long, you feel me? Okay, so D Stone says, see you encouraging others to exercise this fundamental right. Thank you for promoting that freedom. Then he says, oh, I should have read this first. He said, I'm a strong supporter, and I really appreciate open discussion you both are having. Free speech is cornerstone of our nation, and it's refreshing to see you encouraging others to see you encouraging others to exercise their freedom on fundamental right. Thank you for promoting the freedom. Facts. Like, for example, salute to y'all. I don't believe, like, for example, I do not believe that this dude deserves to get popped, man. Whether we liked him or not, bro. He said, Callie, read the super chat. Oh, shit. He had a super chat. He said, Psalms 7:11 says, God is just a judge, and God is angry with wicked every day. Oh, Sky Daddy 4444. I don't know if he's still around. If he's still around, you want to respond to that? Can you respond to that in the chat? Because he was citing the Bible. He said that, you know, God had anger. So he's basically saying, like, he's asking you if God acting like a lady. Interesting. D-Stone came through with $1 super chat. Hey, I appreciate you. Hey, every dollar counts. Dwayne Rose says there's a socioeconomic role. Is a division of class part of the war tactics and racism. It's not complicated. Reread The Art of War. Hey. Yo.
He ain't lying.
Facts. Divide and conquer. Damn. And once again, I appreciate Just Surfing. He says, just the Jap thing is weird. It's war. They didn't deserve reparations. Hey, it is weird, isn't it? I totally agree. I mean, you know, I totally agree. Like, okay, if they're like the enemies, you know, the enemies gonna look a certain way. Like, because guess what? If y'all, all right, let's just be real. You think that Africa would have bombed Pearl Harbor? You don't think they would have locked up all black people? Hey, they probably would have been all too happy to lock up all black people.
Get to the chopper!
Yo, the easiest thing for them to do if Africans bombed Pearl Harbor was to lock up all black people, bro. Hey, let's just be real. For real, bro. Let's just be real.
He ain't lying.
But they got reparations, right? I mean, there's reasons why they gave them this stuff, and but see, if I was to tell y'all that'll be a whole nother discussion, and then we can be here all night, man. Your boy getting a little tired. I was kind of wanting to get some poom tonight. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Damn, did I get a super chat? Hold on. All right, you know we gotta read all super chats. So somebody sent a super chat. My boy XO Pro. Oh shit. Damn, my boy Dark King said a $20 super chat. So salute to you, G. Man, I appreciate y'all. Y'all boys too good for me.
My nigga.
And then of course, he said, oh, and then we got my boy XO Pro. He comes through with the $5 holla. You know what I'm saying? He says, oh shit, he says, to the collection point, you know we need them chicken sandwiches, G. Salute, man.
My nigga.
Yeah, man. Salute to XO Pro and salute to my boy Dark King, the dark, dark is everything and nothing. Salute, my G. And shout out to D Griff for the $5 super chat earlier too with the question to Skydaddy 444. And Skydaddy 444, I don't know if he went to sleep already, but I would have loved to hear. Oh, he's responding back. Skydaddy 444 says Psalm 7:11. He says, I'm still here. He says, that's a misconception. I'm not a Bible thumper. I'm a truth experiencer. Oh, okay. So, I mean, but I'm just saying, like, let's have that's an interesting discussion, though. That's an interesting discussion. So let me ask you a question, Skydaddy 4444. Because Skydaddy 444 hasn't really necessarily said that he is necessarily Christian. I don't think he's ever said that himself. Even though us here in the righteous sphere, we're Christian based. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We're a Christian based actually clique. You know what I'm saying? Even though there are different demographics, you know, we do have Muslims, we do have Jews, we do have, you know, Hebrewites here who are part of the righteous sphere. We do, you know, we do not, you know, we have nothing against every race or creed or nothing like that. You know, here in the righteous sphere. But we are, I think, kind of like America, we have it's Christian based, you know what I'm saying? So we do cite things from the Bible and stuff like that. Do you feel me? So, you know, but then D Griff says, at D Griff, what's your question? And then D Griff says, you're full of shit, Sky Daddy. It says what it says. And D Griff says, God is angry with the wicked, right? And then Sky Daddy says, definitely not a Christian or a religious faith without works is dead. I do works, not lead on titles. D Griff says, Palms 7:11, God is just a judge, and God is angry with the wicked every day. It says what it says, LOL. Well, look, I mean, I'll say this much. Maybe we could agree to disagree on that point, because I kind of do like Sky Daddy's point. But guess what? Maybe, here's the thing. We do know that the Bible is translated. Is there a possibility that maybe they meant upset or bothered? You know what I'm saying? You know? Like, that's a good question. Like, that's actually a really good question. And matter of fact, just for the hell of it, y'all, since we got time, let's look up the definition of anger. Oh, okay. Well, you know what? I guess it all depends on what we're talking about here, right? It says a strong feeling of annoyance, displeasure, or hostility. It says feel someone with anger, provoking anger. She look, hey, Sky Daddy 404. Want to know what the examples of it was? She could barely restrain her anger at the moment. Then it says she was angered by his tense, terse answer. Oh shit. Oh, and then there's another phrase in anger as an expression or result of anger when angry. He eventually apologized, saying he had reacted in anger. Okay. It says Middle English from the Old Norse, anger is grief or anger vex. I've heard of vex before. Jamaicans like to use that. The original use is in the Old Norse census. Currently, census date from the late Middle English. Oh, but listen to this. Someone says from the UH. This is from the UHSBerkeley.edu website. It says anger is an emotional response that we have to an external or internal event perceived as a threat, violation, or injustice. So that might be kind of maybe y'all both got a point. You know what I'm saying? I mean, from what I'm reading, just from Google. Not saying I'm doing a delve into a deep research. I'm not, I don't know. That's kind of interesting. And D. Griff says, I guess God is a woman. God has a. Oh my God, I'm not gonna say that, bro. The Sky Daddy 444 said the book does say that, and I don't believe in the Bible. Again, anger is wrong and will lead you to astray. Keep living and you'll see. Can I say, me, honestly, if I had to, in my opinion, I feel like, I almost kind of feel like it's a little bit of semantics, a little bit, I guess, maybe, or maybe not. I don't know, because it's like someone could be. Here's the thing: someone could annoy you, but you could not necessarily be like acting like your mama. Like, you might not. Like, I don't know. Like I don't know. Like, it's like I could totally understand what both angles. I mean, like, I don't know. Like when God was angry, is he screaming and shouting? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's in. See, there's a lot of ways to go about that. But okay, let's matriculate the ball. Like, let's matriculate the ball. Like CJ was saying. D-Griff says, D-Griff, please forgive your mother for what she has done to you. You have her spirit. Oh my God. Man, look, let's not take this into an attack fest, y'all. Come on now. It says D-Griff, yeah, we have to go. You can't handle what I'm saying. So now you're gonna disrespect me. It says a lot about you. And he says you didn't even answer my question. Well, D-Griff, he technically did answer your question. You know what I'm saying? He said that he's not biblical. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if someone's not biblical, if someone is not biblical, I mean, at this point, y'all gotta kind of agree to disagree. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Like, that's my dog. We don't agree on everything, Now, Sky Daddy 4444 says, not disrespectful, I am making an observation. Oh my God. Yo. Man, y'all. Yeah, come on, y'all. Chill, bro. Chill.
My nigga.
Chill out. I asked him if he's ever been angry, LOL. Oh, okay. He didn't answer. I guess he didn't. He probably didn't see that. I don't know. Sky Daddy, he has one more question for you. And then, look, after this, no more personal jabs, y'all. All right? Because we got to matriculate the ball. I kind of wanted to show y'all some other shit. I got some little videos, some little jokey jokes and shit for y'all. Okay, so let's wrap this up, okay? Sky Daddy, did you see his question? Oh, he didn't see his question. D-Griff says, oh, no, he didn't. He didn't answer back yet. D-Griff says, Sky Daddy, you never met me in person. What is there to observe? Y'all boys, man. See? Man. Oh, my God. Okay. Where was I? I already played what that crazy lady. What was that crazy lady? The crazy cat lady. What did the crazy cat lady have to say? Crazy cat lady I'm talking about is that chick. She's fine, but she be talking that crazy shit. Amanda Seales. I ain't gonna lie. Amanda Seales is a fine woman. That is a waste of a woman right there, boy. Like, total waste of a woman. Amanda Seales. Oh yeah, but like, she was supposed to duplicate that look. That woman is fine. She ain't as fine no more, but like, I don't know. Like, it's like her hair wasn't good enough to be chilling with the white girls. So, that's why she ought to be wearing a braids and extension. But it's like, she was still too pretty to still be around the hood rats, but she really wanted to be a hood rat, y'all. Best believe she really wanted to be a hood rat. Okay, so y'all, all right. Let's answer this question. And I'm not gonna answer any disses or any shots here from either of both of y'all, okay, for tonight, okay? Okay, Sky Daddy answers the question. He says, no, I don't have anger anymore. I overcame it, and I would be happy to help you overcome your anger as well. He said, I'm your brother, and only here to deliver a message. D. Griff says, clearly I got under your skin because you talked about my mother. Yeah, well, oh man. Oh boy. Okay. All right. I'll just say that I'm gonna try to explain it because I don't want y'all beefing because everybody was cool until people want to disagree with shit. I mean, look, and we're gonna disagree with everything. I don't agree with everything everybody say, but I just say this much. To try to see if I can try to soften the blow of what Sky Daddy said, because from a strange perspective, I think I could kind of understand where D. Griff is coming from. Sky Daddy believes that that, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I think you've already explained it, so I'm not going to explain it anymore. I'm not taking any sides of this. Next, D. Griff says Amanda Seales is crazy. Yeah, she batshit crazy. She batshit crazy. I didn't say I wouldn't fuck her. I probably would still fuck her, but you know what I'm saying? That bitch crazy. I want to knock her up, but I'll definitely fuck her. I'm a nasty boy. What can I say? Oh boy. All right. So back to what I was saying about this batshit crazy cat lady. What's her name? The bitch. And I was talking shit about her the other day, and I'm still talking shit about her tonight. But hear what she got to say. Oh, sorry.
He said it's a bad thing. He said it's some new age made up shit. He also said people got to be sacrificed in order to protect guns. If he was saying that while fighting for reparations, I may have a little bit of empathy. But this white on white violence, he died?
Yo, bruh.
I can't have empathy for someone like Charlie Kirk because I cannot be in his shoes.
Emotional, damn it.
I have no cognizance for that. There literally is nothing about his existence that I can relate to. So I don't have any, I can't have empathy for someone like Charlie Kirk. First of all, Charlie Kirk don't believe in empathy. He said it's a bad thing. He said it's some new age made up shit. He also said people got to be sacrificed in order to protect guns. If he was...
Hey.
He ain't lying.
Hey, I do understand his stance when he said that it's not so much that I don't think people need to be quote unquote sacrificed. But if it means to take away my guns, it means that here's the thing, because here's the thing. But they see what they was trying to trap him. See, the reason why he said that was because they was trying to trap him with oh well, if they took away guns, that oh well, you know, people gun violence will stop. But the truth is that you know what's gonna happen when they take all our guns? It's like United Kingdom. Look, people are gonna be holding us at knife point. Okay? And they took away all Americans' guns like they did like in the UK. Okay? So guess what? So he just basically was like, well, you know, if having the Second Amendment means that some people get popped with legal firearms, it might be worth the sacrifice, because if we have no guns at all, more people are gonna actually die. Yeah, actually more people will be victims because of the fact that you take away our guns, is basically what I'm trying to say. But Amanda Seales, she don't give Amanda Seales, that bitch ain't got no filter. She don't give a fuck. And look at her getting fat. Damn, baby, you fine as hell. Why you getting fat? And yo, what's the deal with these nappy ass braids that she got, bro? Baby girl, you too damn fine to be looking like that.
Emotional damage.
But no cap, I still fuck your face. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I still fuck your
Empathy, because I have no connectivity. I have more connectivity to someone who is a complete stranger that dies of a drug overdose than I do to someone like Charlie Kirk, because life is hard. And I understand that, because it takes very little for someone to end up committing themselves to an existence of numbness. I understand that. That man got murdered at 31 at a college event in the middle of a sentence talking about black gangs. What a way to go. O'Shernil. He was actually taken out by an old white man in one of the whitest, whitery, witty white states in existence. Empathy, because I have no
It's all bullshit. All of it.
Yo, I mean, the truth is that they did that on purpose. The truth is there's more to it. You just think they just did. Here's the thing. We don't know what, look, when they say these dudes, like, for example, the guy who popped Trump, how do we know he's even in a jail cell? How do we know he didn't go to a jail cell and just went to a secret tunnel place and just got away, bro? Because we ain't heard shit about the dude who tried to take out Trump. Yeah, we ain't heard about that. He got caught. Remember? He's the one who didn't get popped. He got caught. That dude was probably eating filet mignon, having all types of hookers and prostitutes in his motherfucking jail cell, bro. CIA operative.
I want to do it the right way and learn some of the unwritten rules.
That's why I was talking about the seminar, so that we can get players to come down there and bring their grievance, their problem, how to catch a hooker, what you do to be a boss player, what do I say to my wife when I decided that I wanted to be a true player and walk out on the family. We need a seminar so we can teach these guys to give them the right understanding so they'll know, man.
You know, because a pimp's love is a special type of love.
He ain't lying.
No, but real estate though. Dwayne Rose says she is disingenuous as hell, as fuck. She is disingenuous. Like we know she don't give a fuck, and that's why I was laughing too, Dwayne Rose. I was laughing mainly because we know she really don't even give a fuck. That bitch looked like she was having a good ass time, bro. Look at her with her Black Panthers t-shirt. You know the Black Panthers were communists, right? But look at her. She really, truly don't give no fucks. Look at her. All right, look, she has eating chocolate. Talk about nigga almost got his wig split, his neck split, and this chick is eating chocolate.
I have more connectivity to someone who is a complete stranger that dies of a drug overdose than I do to someone like Charlie Kirk. Because life is hard. And I understand that. Because it takes very little for someone to end up committing themselves to an existence of numbness. I understand that. That man got murdered at 30. He didn't get murked in Watts now. They took him out in Utah. They said Lady Oleana. I want you to know it was us. Ain't no way it was a black man that took that man out. Not no Utah. Right as that bullet hit him, that man was in the middle of talking shit about gangs. White on white crime. These thugs, y'all.
Hey, look, yo. As much as I don't like Amanda Seales and what she stands for, you know what I'm saying? Because we can separate the looks from the character, right? One thing I could definitely say is that she do kind of got a point, dude. She definitely do kind of got a point. Because he was making the emphasis how he said, black people do most of the violent crime. Look at the FBI statistics. You mean the same FBI who took out all our black leaders? We're supposed to take their word? The FBI been shady since J. Edgar Hoover. Why the fuck we listen to this stats? D. Griff says, I like Trump, but not Charlie. Hey, at this point, you know, here's the thing. For me to say I don't like somebody, that takes too much energy. But I don't favor him at all. And I don't like what he'll say. That sounds any better. A man support man comes through with he says, this shit lady. Skydaddy 4444. This is here. Okay. Y'all boys, cause y'all boys have y'all little power between ourselves. I'm not. Anyway. So yeah, like I was saying, yeah. But hey, you know, now we know that there is a political, you know, there is a reason why he could have been taken out. I don't think I do not believe that he was taken out because he was going to become president. I don't think he was going to take it out because he's some great white hope. I mean, the white people might have thought that he was great white hope, you know what I'm saying, because he's young and white, you know what I'm saying, and he's like all-American, he's conservative, you know what I'm saying. I could see why white people liked him. But like I said, his statistics on a lot of things that he was saying, even though I agree with most of the shit he was saying, when it comes to the black community and how he started to bring up, black people, he dead ass was wrong. You know what I'm saying? And just because you started out some statistics don't mean that you paint the whole picture. Because like I said, to discuss a main problem, you got to discuss, outer portion of the problem. You can never fix a house if you only fix what you see on the outside, because maybe there's damage to the foundation. Maybe we need to redo electrical. Maybe we need to redo the floors before you lay down carpet. Or before you try to put down the linoleum floor, right? Because you can put down linoleum, but if your baseboards are rotting out, one day you're going to be walking through your little linoleum kitchen thinking you're the shit, and you're going to fucking fall through that motherfucker. You feel me? Shit. Ask XL Pro.
He ain't lying.
So yeah, man. Man Support Man says you can't dislike or hate someone you don't personally know. That, and here's the thing. You know what's funny? I even say I can't even stand somebody, but I guess I should say that I don't like somebody, But yeah, but it's true. I can't dislike somebody I don't like. Like for example, I don't see why he was even worth doing anything to. I just feel like the reason why they did something to him is because he does have a fan base, or people who at least agree with his fan base. Because here's the thing. When I heard he got popped, I was even kind of low-key on his side a little bit until I found out what he was really about. Then I had to come on here and redeem myself and talk about this shit, bro. Like, you feel me? I had to talk about this shit. Like I said, I'm still holding the black community accountable for a lot of things. Because guess what? Most of y'all are getting held back by yourselves and the black community now. But the reason why you're even in this disposition is because guess what? You know what I'm saying? You were dealt a bad hand. And that's something that he wasn't willing to admit to. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I think I'm just about done talking about that. Can I show you some little videos so we can kind of giggle a little bit and get back in the flow of things? Can we do that? Now, a Man Support Man said no one deserves to be deleted for their opinion. I agree. No one, not only does he deserve to, I kind of feel like they made a martyr out of a Joker, to be honest. What they like about him is his main principles, which is basically, all the conservative stuff except, black people this, black people black people this, these are take themselves up to the bootstraps type shit. Basically, here's the thing. There's different factions of conservatives too, y'all. There's some conservatives who believe that, there's some conservatives who know that black people went through slavery and stuff like that. Remember, the Republicans were the ones who technically freed the slaves, right? And the Democrats are the ones who were the KKK. Now, with that being said, I do want to mention the fact that the conservatives definitely have factions. Like for example, there's some Republicans who have the Reagan era mentality where they believe that blacks invented crack, kind of like Charlie Kirk. Yeah, he's kind of more of an 80s kind of Republican who believe that black people are bad this, black people did that, That's how he is kind of on. And then there's some New Age conservatives who kind of believe that, okay, black people got dealt a bad hand, but now they have an opportunity to fix it now. You know what I'm saying? That's what kind of, I guess, if you were to say I was a conservative, that's why I'll be, even though I'm kind of more of a technically now, really almost independent, because I do believe in a lot of conservative feelings, kind of like with a democratic feel. That's the best way I could describe it. The real says facts, guys. We can't forget cause. We can't forget cause. Look, you can never resolve an issue, whether it's getting sick, whether, without at least knowing the root cause of the reason. I'm not going to say that we should hang on racism, but we cannot, look, if Charlie Kirk or any black person can get a discussion with why the black community the way it is, you got to go to the root problem. You cannot show me where a black woman was from a rich family. She just decided she was going to jump on welfare. Show me a rich black woman, or show me a black woman who had a mom and dad, and she just went and jumped on welfare. You probably can't show me one because guess what? I don't know if y'all ever seen this old ass movie called Trading Places with Eddie Murphy and Dan Aykroyd. I think it's for free on YouTube if you have YouTube Prime. I think you can watch it for free on YouTube. But in Trading Places, they had two brothers who were from two white men who were from coming to America, who were in coming to America. They're the bums, and essentially these bums were millionaires on the stock exchange, the New York Stock Exchange. And essentially, they decided to do an experiment. They seen this black guy getting arrested for no reason, right? Even though he didn't really steal nothing, they thought he stole something. And essentially, the brothers basically made a bet that essentially, because he's like, a degenerate black guy, that he's either still gonna be like, no good, and then the other brother made a bet like, okay, well, he's gonna straighten up if we put him in a better position. And basically, when they did the bet, and they basically took in this bummy ass Eddie Murphy ended up straightening up. They ended up kind of realizing like, not only was Eddie Murphy was not only street smart, but he was he was actually pretty intelligent. It's just like, he probably just a bum, he's just a bum because, he held a bad hand, right? So long story short, he started doing good on the stock exchange and stuff. And he was like a real stockbroker and stuff, right? And essentially what they did was Dan Aykroyd, who was the actual stockbroker, they ruined his life. They basically ruined his credit. They like put some bullshit charges on him and stuff, got him fired, and basically made him the new ninja. They made Dan Aykroyd a nigga, and they basically uplifted the nigga and made him into like a good, respectable man in the community. Long story short is their experiment worked. Essentially, the other brother was right. Eddie Murphy was able to rise above the fact that he was a hoodlum. He actually was like a prominent guy who could look. They even admit that he himself, that Eddie Murphy, could run the company. And his brother said, "You will let a nigger run this company?" And the other brother, who was right about the fact that if you give anyone an opportunity to do good, he could do good, even though he was right, he said no. So even though there are white people who know that black people can excel if they're given the opportunity, just given the opportunity to be out the hood or have the opportunity, but guess what? Their own racism will still not put you in that position anyway. That's just how some people are. Now, Dale Hesitancy says, so they're saying they can't have empathy for a person who had a wife and young children who just got shot, and while sitting there just wanted to talk to people. That's disgusting. No, it's not. Because here's the thing. No, it's not. Here's the thing. Think about it, yo. When drug dealers, murderers, or people who, saying, or rapists or anything like that get popped, do you feel sorry for them? Because guess what? You don't think some of these people who do heinous, evil things and they get shot by get popped by the police in their head, you don't think they got fathers? You don't think they got kids and wives and mothers and stuff like that? But guess what? You don't have empathy for everybody, right? But see, you'll say, oh, well, he was a criminal, so I don't have, but I can kind of flip back what you said. Because just because someone's a rapist, or someone's just because they delete people themselves, or they are criminals, does that mean that you shouldn't feel empathy for them? You don't feel empathy for them, do you? Now, if you tell me that you feel empathy for murderers and rapists and killers, let me know, and then I'll eat my words. D. Griff says, right, you can't find the cure without finding the cause. Exactly. D. Griff says, we've been seeing George Floyd memes for the last 5 years. Facts. And here's the thing, and I don't even agree with George Floyd. I believe the white man and him were both some idiots. I believe he shouldn't have been trying to use counterfeit money, and I believe that white man shouldn't have put his damn neck on nobody's neck, even if it wasn't his fault. Even if that's not how he died. Don't be putting your foot under somebody's neck, because at this point, now we don't know how the fuck this man died. But guess what? Having a foot on your neck, from a 200-pound, 200-plus pound man cannot be good for your health. Now, Skydaddy 4444 says, if you hate one, you hate all. See? And I agree. That's what I'm saying. So, like, but here's the thing. Just because I'm not crying for anybody. I can feel bad for the kids and stuff like that. I can feel bad. Here's the thing. I ain't gonna lie. I would not want my family and my kids to see me get, take a pill. You know what I'm saying? I would not want them to see that. You feel me? But I'm not gonna sit down here and cry and mobile over it and try to like hold him as a martyr or as a big ass patriot or anything like that. No, I ain't gonna do all that. D-Griff says they should have gotten a man for Floyd. He was too tall for the cop car. Man, look, well, I don't know what they should have did. Maybe they should have just beat the shit out of his ass. He'd probably be alive. I don't fucking know. But you know what I'm saying? But he was wilding. What he should have done was chill the fuck out. Like, here's the thing, y'all. Just because a cop is wrong and the cop deserved to go to jail doesn't mean that George Floyd didn't put himself in that position. Here's the thing. George Floyd ruined both their lives. In a roundabout way, they both, like, the guy shouldn't have had his foot around his fucking neck, and George Floyd shouldn't have been acting like a fucking idiot. They both deserved each other. Dwayne Rose says, rumor has it, Giving Floyd was smashing Derek Chauvin's daughter while they worked at the nightclub. Ooh. Man, I would not do that without it, man. Those places are so small. Like, for example, man, I'm from a big city. I'm from Los Angeles, man. I'm from LA. And Dwayne Rose, you're from New York, so I know you from a big city too. But yo, you know what I'm saying? We from big city boys. You feel me? Like I forgot where they were. They were somewhere in the Midwest or some shit like that. Man, those small ass places. Trust me, that motherfuckers damn near probably know each other, seen each other plenty of times. He says at least George Floyd's got justice. Here's the thing, right but wrong. His family got justice.
Emotional damage.
He did. That's what he got, unfortunately. He did.
He ain't lying.
Now, B. Jizzle says, regardless of what this man said, he didn't deserve that. I'm not a Republican, but that's what's wrong. We got to work together and act like adults. Obviously the right move, but we still need, obviously the right move more, but we still need, I think he was going to say something else, but I don't know what else he got to say. I don't believe he deserved it. D-Griff says, Dwayne, are you joking? Laughing out loud. Man, shit, probably serious too. Hey, for example, I'm almost this thing. Now I can talk shit about black people now. Black people, how y'all let those black cops beat that black boy down in Memphis? How y'all let him get away? How y'all not marching to the Supreme Court? How y'all not begging Donald Trump to go send them boys to jail? They beat that dude because he was fucking the fucking cop's fucking ex-girlfriend, bro, or his girlfriend. They beat that man down to death, bro. How y'all let that slide? I mean, that's not even white people. B. Jizzle says, he says, all right, so now I can read the whole statement now. He says, regardless of what this man said, didn't deserve, he said, obviously the right more, but still need to do better. My bad, big dog. He said there's a limit. Oh, no doubt. I appreciate you for tuning in, G. I appreciate that words. I agree with that. Like I said, he did not deserve to get popped. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to cry over it or make a big deal about it. Shit, I'm gonna make sure I'm trying to get my YouTube bag up from this too, and I appreciate everybody for tuning in. You feel me? So yeah, man. Okay, the numbers are starting to dwindle now. People are getting tired, huh? Shout out to X, formerly known as Twitter, aka aka Twitter. Y'all can come through and subscribe to the Cali West Miami show. D-Girl says, I actually live in Memphis. He said, I actually live in Memphis, and folks weren't pissed about it. I know they weren't. That's the problem. I know they weren't. So, that's kind of where, that's kind of why, and I hate to say this. I mean, here's the thing. People are going to be racist like Charles Kirk anyway. But I almost kind of feel like when we got shit like that going on in the hood, you almost kind of give these guys, these idiots, credence. Because how the fuck we let that fucking slide, dude? Like, once we start policing our own neighbor, like, for example, in 2025, the black community really shouldn't be looking like that. Like, for example, the drug dealers should almost be like businessmen. Them dudes should be on their best behavior, looking like priests and reverends, with how black people have the right now to lead their own community. But guess what? They just want to keep on doing the same niggerish shit. Like, here's the thing. I don't even have a problem with people selling drugs, but guess what? You don't have to sell your drugs on the corner. You don't have to do all that shit. You know what I'm saying? But guess what? They choose to because they don't give a fuck about their own community. Now, Dwayne Rose said that he said George and Derek both worked security at the same nightclub. They crossed paths and were fond of each other. He said, especially because his daughter fancied George. She probably saw his XXX video. Woo! Beaches says we as all in need to do better. Obviously, what the Trump is saying makes work. He said, obviously, with what Trump is saying, it makes things worse. Oh, here's the thing, y'all. I'm not really a big Joe Biden fan. I'm actually glad that Trump is in office, but I don't necessarily agree with everything Trump does. There's a lot of shit that he says that I don't necessarily agree. Like Trump is holding him up like holding old boy up as like a medal of freedom or something like that. But the dude was essentially a racist. But that wouldn't be the first time America has praised racist people. Shit. Hey, the Democratic Party praised Joe Biden and he was a big ass racist. D-Grill says, my bad, I just messed up your point. He said that was a type of Cali. People were pissed. I know what you meant. They're trying to act like he has nothing to do with it. He might. I don't know. I don't know what he got to do with it. I ain't making no accusations until I hear something or see something. But okay. He said they trying to act like he has nothing to do with it. D-Griff is right. I don't know why people act like we're all supposed to be sad. We're not. Because guess what? You think any white people care that Malcolm X got taken out? Trust me, they're probably saying ill shit about his ass. Best believe that. Shit, they was talking shit about Martin Luther King, and he didn't even want any violence. Mr. Hellraiser says, I'm late to this. We're at the Charleston White part, and he is right at what you're saying about pussies. He said the only thing is he is wrong about the part about white people, how we shoot people. Oh, white people shoot people. White people shoot people. White people stab people. White people do all that shit, bro. But hey, white people do that shit. We ain't gonna be disingenuous here. White people do that shit. As a matter of fact, one time I had a debate with my brother, and you know what? I thought was under the impression that LA, because LA got Crips and Bloods and we got gangbangers, and plus, because we live in an area where, there were like gangs and stuff. I always thought LA and California would have the number one murders. Do you know the number one murders actually happened in Republican-run countries? I mean, Republican states? Yeah, I know that. That's actually the truth. Now, maybe per capita, look, Chicago might have just as many murders as Wyoming put together, the whole state of Wyoming. That's a possibility of that. But just know that, it's really screwed. B. Jill says, shit, exactly. This guy wasn't a martyr talking about healing like he thought Martin Luther King is crazy. Exactly. Hey, facts. D-Griff says, right. They hated King. Then Mr. Harris said, we are all pussies. We let them do this. I'm sick of it. Mr. White, like he said, you let rap music to go. So here we are. Right.
He ain't lying.
Because here's the thing. I was pointing this out to someone else earlier, Hellraiser. I said to people, I said, you can play rap all you want, but someone had to give them the right to come out. And I'm from LA, and I could tell you now, I knew a lot of rappers. I knew rappers who were just all about rapping, not about gangbanging, nothing. They had some good ass lyrics. Guess what? Them niggas never got a record deal. Never got a record deal. But Snoop Dogg got a record deal. Warren G got a record deal. All types of other gangster rappers got record deals. It's the when they're flooding gangster rappers in LA. Nobody was doing anything else but LA gangster shit. Why? Because that's what the record executives are that's who they're signing. Mr. Hellraiser says this America here how now can't no he said this America now can't fight Korea. We can't fight anything because we're soft. And that's a fact. That's why Charlie died, because we are soft. He just says, nah, man, we are logical people. Nah, man, we are not logical people. We are not logical people, bro. I wouldn't say just because we're necessarily melanated that's why we are. I believe there's extenuating circumstances. You might have to press a replay on this joint. D-Girl says exactly what do they expect after 15 years of drill music. Then Hellraiser, he said a lot. My boy Kirk died inside of us because we are cowards. We're allowed to. This should be responsible for. He said we should all be responsible for Kirk's death. No, bro. No, G. I'm gonna let you slide this time on the caps. Please, no more caps in my thing. All right. But I know you said that out of you're upset and angry about Kirk's death, but no caps, all right? Because that's considered screaming. Now, Dwayne Rose said that's tricky data because the Democratic cities have the most violence, but can Republican state switch back to forth from different political standpoints? It does, because here's the thing. But Democratic cities might have the most violence, but guess what? Remember, do y'all know? Here's the thing. Black people are still the minority in most of those places, too. So guess what that means? That means half of those crimes are at least done by white people or other people of color, right? You got to take that in consideration, too. Jesus says the only issue is we colors keep thinking it's all right. I don't know the answer, but we got to do better. Facts. Dwayne Rose says I live in a region of the country and it's 90% white. They commit mad crimes. They're mad heroin and mad crystal. They get bucky. They do get bucky. D-Girl says, damn, I just realized it's almost 20 years of drill music. Jesus says, we are logical. He said, we are logical people, but we got to do better. We need to do better and take care of everyone. All right. Hey, I believe if we all take care of ourselves, we'll be able to take care of each other. With that being said, y'all, once again, y'all, it's Cali West, and I do thank y'all for tuning in to another episode. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel if you're feeling this shit. Damn, y'all, I didn't even get to play no videos, but yo, it's been 3 hours doing overtime. Your boy tired. I need to go get some sleep. Y'all might see me even tomorrow night. If not, y'all definitely see me Saturday night. Once again, I appreciate everybody for the super chats. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. But your boy is tired. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even tired. I'm tired like the soap. Man, it's time for your boy to go get some sleep, G. So I appreciate y'all. I don't think I'm gonna go get no poom tomorrow. I'm gonna go on shit. If anything, I'm gonna get some head for my I'm gonna get some head for my fucking pillow. You know what I mean? Sky Daddy 444 says great show. We just say yeah, I'm subscribing to bro. Thanks. I appreciate you, Jew. He also says fuck the left and the right. We as humans need to do better. What is the problem? We're all the same. And you know what? I have to be honest with you. I might be leaning more towards the Republican and all that, but I must say, man, like, you know, the extreme right and the extreme left, they're both, you know, not a good thing. You feel me? I'm not really big on the reading rainbow shit. You know, I'm not big on reading rainbow shit. I'm not big on this welfare shit. You know, I do believe that's a form of communism and socialism. You know what I'm saying? But you know, there are a lot of things that I don't really agree with everybody. So, you know, hopefully we need to agree to disagree. Once again, y'all, appreciate y'all for tuning in and the super chat. Boy, Cali, let's out of here, and I'm gone. Yo.